This is the Conservation Commission meeting Thursday, December 19th, 2019. Confirmation of agenda?
The only change I have is just kind of advance warning that Shaker Mill Pond has asked to be continued.
Okay.
So when we get there, we can continue them to the next meeting.
Okay. So that's not really a change to the agenda, it's just
No, it's just a heads up.
a heads up.
Yeah, yeah. Everything else is as written.
Motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
The approval of the meeting minutes. You got to do those so fast last time.
Well, time of year sometimes. You let it, just do it, you have time, you have a little window there, go for it.
You did it.
What's the date on those?
I'm sorry?
What's the date on those?
The 5th. 12/5. Any comments on the minutes?
Beautifully written, as usual.
You should write some horrible ones sometime.
No.
Slip in the occasional
Yeah.
profanity.
Just to see what everybody's looking.
Yeah, okay, actually.
Motion to approve the minutes as written?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any announcements?
One announcement, the town received the Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness Planning Grant, and the second meeting of that initiative is a workshop. It's a two-part workshop, Thursday, January 9th from 4 to 8, and again Thursday, January 16th from 4 to 8 at the DPW. And I'm thinking it would be a really good idea if I went to the one on the 9th. But we have a meeting that night.
Planning board?
No,
No.
we all.
Oh, here. Oh.
Yes. So we can talk more about that on Tuesday, but
Okay.
so that's the only announcement.
Any accounts payable?
Don't have any accounts payable, but I do have a copy for each of you of the budget that we submitted. So it really is sort of the usual thing, except for the beaver deceiver installation line and beaver deceiver maintenance line.
So $2,000 for the installation and $1,180 for maintenance.
Great.
Did we get a new maintenance contract? When was the last time we had one?
I don't think we have the new contract, but the last contract covered us through this year. And the maintenance cost was based on last year's contract, so. Yeah. Just kind of information.
So the first item tonight, public meeting, are requests for determination of applicability, Superconductor Corporation, Assessors Map 28 and 34, parcels 119 and 75. Would you like to join us, sir?
Sure. Just a blow up of what I've already sent.
And your name, please?
My name is Kevin Bowman.
Kevin Bowman.
I'm the owner's project manager for American Superconductor that moved into 114 East Main Street. They've been my client for 30 years. I started with them when they were a little startup out of MIT, and they moved into your town about almost 2 years ago from Devon's.
So you're representing them, you're not part of American Superconductor?
No, just a hired gun, I guess.
And what is it that you
So,
proposing?
they've been awarded a contract with the Navy. They have to make a cable for the Navy, and they need to manufacture the cable in a straight building that at a minimum would be 450 feet long, and at a maximum 660 feet long. So there's a couple of options that you have in front of you, so I just want to give you this is the way that the property is right now. And the first proposal that they have is put 17 annex boxes together with the appropriate doors, because it's a building, it's a temporary structure. And what we would do is, because it's a temporary structure, we put it right beside the railroad tracks. And it would measure 660 feet long.
660?
660.
660.
And if we do that, we'd have to turn around and change the road to come in here, because this is their loading dock that's used every day. So when we originally put the paperwork together a month ago with Joanne, who's been extremely helpful with this project, the client said, well, what if we just turn around and put a 450-foot building, 30 feet wide, 18 feet in height, slope roof, 450 feet. Because there was some concerns with the fire chief with regards to if we put the Connex boxes there was a concern with the fire chief, because if we have a buildup of snow, then how is he going to get his trucks around back to fight should there ever be a request for service back there. With snow buildup, driving the trucks back there, they make pieces of equipment that's probably the size of this that they ship all over the world. So maneuverability of bringing a flatbed in, picking up the equipment, putting it on truck. It's a pretty busy area, so the Connex boxes was the first thought a couple of months ago, but we've kind of morphed into this would be more acceptable, because they could use 450 feet of this new building, and then they could turn around and use some of the building inside. These cables, they make, the longest one is 591, shortest one is 201. So they have to make various size cables, and they can make most of them in here. And half a dozen would go into their existing manufacturing facility. So that would require us, if we go back to the first plan, currently there's a driveway that comes in, and it goes in here, you drive around. The plan would be to have the driveway come in here, so we could get around and back. This gives you a 55-foot, more than ample space to drive a tractor-trailer truck and a fire truck and snow buildup to be able to get back here. So, there's what's identified here is the approximate flood zone line right here. So we would be within the flood zone. So we do the appropriate things to get it right. We'd go to the building, do it all to satisfy everybody. We just wanted to show you our plans and see what you think.
So initially,
Yeah.
Kevin had come to us with an RDA for the Connex box scenario. And then, so that's what the RDA is for. I think we probably could have issued a negative determination for the Connex box situation. With the new longest, skinniest building in the world situation and moving the driveway, they have not yet flagged the wetlands. So this
Yep.
line that's showing on the plan is just the flood zone. It's very, very wet down in there. So this all sort of hinges on
Where the water is.
where the wetlands are.
Right.
Yep,
And we understand that.
yes.
So it might go from an RDA to an NOI.
Oh, yeah, I think if you're gonna proceed with a permanent building, that we're definitely looking at it.
And that's what we'd be looking at.
Yeah,
And we don't want, they just moved in here, and
Yeah.
then they were awarded the contract, so, I don't want them to move. We just brought more power there, they're setting telephone poles in Harvard to bring power to this building.
wow.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put a stop to it and say, let's go find another location, and because you have this contract that you have to fulfill.
So I think it means having it flagged and
Yeah.
and going from there
Right.
to determine.
Yep, it's, with the cold we had overnight last night, it's gonna get more difficult to do a wetland line, and,
It's supposed to be 46 next week.
oh, well, there we go.
Yeah, they said it's supposed to warm up again, it's like,
Yeah.
wow.
Awesome,
Right.
that's what we need.
That's what I was fearful of when the
Yes.
cold weather came, and I'm saying,
Right.
we couldn't have thought of this thing in June or July, but
No, of course not.
maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Well, and there's not that much snow on the ground.
Right, so the cold just
Right.
gets right in, yeah. So when Kevin was in earlier in the week, is that this week? Last week?
We spoke.
We spoke? We
Right.
did.
We-
It was
we
a phone call. I told him I could get a list of wetlands folks, that we can't really make a recommendation, but we could provide a list of 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm. And
So-
then you'll take it from
Right,
there.
Yeah.
right, that's going to determine pretty much everything.
Yep. I did talk to the building inspector today, who has kind of a love-hate relationship with this footing device called a diamond pier. Do you know what those? They're really interesting. He said, wow, they could probably use diamond piers for this and not have to really dig. I said, well, maybe. I don't know.
And what is that?
It's a concrete sort of thing that looks a little bit like an elephant's foot.
Right, it's like a mushroom, it mushrooms out. We use them all the time for decks where you don't want to put the sonotube there, let's say it's sandy soil. So you're not going to get much out of a 8-inch round or 12-inch round sonotube, but it mushrooms out. So it's
And then it's
so it
got
gives
a-
you the same 8 inches up above, but down below it's a spread foundation. That's what all it is.
And it's got a big spike that you drive down
Right.
through the,
It just sits up top
yeah,
on the ground.
yep, no digging.
Is that,
I think
that sufficient for what they need for doing their cable?
I don't,
I mean, doesn't that building have to be
it has to
pretty
be,
darn stable?
it has to be laser straight.
Exactly, so.
So,
Frosted heat,
you'd
I
have to
don't
go
think that's
beyond
gonna work.
you'd have to go beyond the frost. I'm not,
Yeah.
I haven't done any,
Oh, I know,
this,
I know. And-
this is
and Charlie
really,
was just-
this is
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is the horse is way ahead of the cart.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But you
exactly,
just
yeah.
use a big auger and dig a big hole and pump it in.
Yeah, we would, I think part of the concern is that there was a environmental spill, there's a bunch of wells, monitoring wells that are here, because I believe on the other side of the railroad tracks, from what I was told, there was a tannery or a metal plating or electroplating company that had some issue, but we're kind of like away from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not really worried about, the fear was, nobody wants to dig in. My client doesn't even own the building.
I know.
So I'm going, we really want to spend all this money on the building, but
Right.
this is their choice. So
Yep.
The guy with the gold makes the rule. So
Yeah.
I
So
follow.
the conics are out, right? That's not happening. Okay.
I mean, if we were shot down with if the building, let's say,
Right,
you know,
right.
we're not gonna build over a wetland.
Yeah.
So then I may resurrect the Conex box idea. I just wanted to,
Okay.
the original idea was we were coming with the Conex box, but then
Yeah.
a couple of 3 weeks ago, they said, hey, because people have to assemble a cable and put connectors on it and work inside a Conex box. I'm saying, who's gonna be really happy working in a Conex box? Even if you put the 1-inch closed self insulation, FRP on the walls, you know, you have to bring ventilation in there. I mean, there's a whole,
People live in them nowadays.
I know.
wow.
Look at Bison.
I guess we're all doing pretty well then.
I guess it's just interesting that, you know, again, they went into this building saying that the building in Devon's is way too big, but now,
And they built that building.
yeah.
I worked in the building 20 years ago, and it's
Just as a
400,000
resident, I kind of say,
400,000
All right.
square feet, and it was almost like a clean room environment. It was everything.
Somebody
they
else is in it
asked
now, I
for.
see.
Yeah, cold storage at Amazon.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, they take package out of one company, put it in another company's box, and ship it out.
I love it.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so you're coming back with,
I guess,
Wetland flagged and
so
everything.
I can give you a call tomorrow if that's okay? Or you tell me when you want me to call?
Tomorrow would be good.
Or you can email
I've got-
me. You have my email address?
Yeah, why don't I'll just, yeah,
Whatever's easiest for you.
I'll put a list together
And I'll reach out, and I would like to, you know, where we're gonna have a window of nice weather next week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what their time schedule is, but I'd like to try to get it before,
Yeah.
because it's not gonna last forever. And I wanna move this along and get a,
What names were you thinking would be David E. Ross, Goldsmith, Castrati?
I was thinking more like Ecotech,
Ecotech?
BSC.
BSC, Chase's new place, Chase Bernier, our peer review guy for John Carroll Reserve,
Oh, right.
and Oxbow.
For wetland flagging, yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else on the list? Seemed like a pretty good.
It's a good selection.
Claw. Okay. Shame,
Oh,
does he not do that?
Deshane. Well, Deshane. Why not
I don't know.
Deshane? Yeah, that's yeah. All right, I'll get you other contact information
Great.
tomorrow.
Just a couple of, I guess, it's not going to be temporary, right? They're not putting this in and then gonna take it out. Do we,
what, this
extension?
This Plan B?
Yeah.
Um,
Or might it be?
They're indicating there could be a 10-year contract.
Okay, all right.
So,
That's what I was just trying to understand.
yeah, the Conex box was gonna be temporary, only because we were gonna be right beside the property line, 180 days, I get all that, and ask for an extension after that. The first phase of this project is, could be a year, 18 months, but all indications are it's gonna be a 10-year contract.
And then what, they're gonna spool inside the building, or they're gonna spool outside when they ship it?
Yeah, they can spool it, so cable gets filled with liquid helium. It has to be perfectly straight when they install the cable, and once they have the cable installed and sealed, then they can spool it.
Yeah, okay.
So they're gonna spool it, so I'm gonna, when I design the Conex boxes, first phase, we had roll-up doors on either end. Bring the cable in,
Right.
pull your wire through it, fill it with liquid helium, roll it out.
Right, right.
Yeah, a whole bunch of things happen in the middle of that process that I just gotta, it takes about a week to make one cable.
Yeah, and
So,
this just goes back to
creative
what I was asking
vacuum,
about
the
the
whole bit.
temporary nature, because I was wondering, do we actually need a driveway if it's gonna be months or whatever? And it's like, do we even need this road connecting if they have a different way of spooling it and taking it out?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the spooling.
If it's 10 years,
It's
different.
everything to do with, driving a fire truck back here. It's everything to do with that.
But they
He
still have
wants-
the ability to get coming off the other road with the fire truck, do they not?
He didn't want to go out and go around and come back. So they wanted, because the normal procedure is that they'll come in the front door, read the annunciator to find out where the event is,
I
and
see.
then drive and go to it. They didn't want to go back out the front door
Okay.
and drive around the rotary and come back on Sandy Pond.
So somewhat in actuality, the only reason you're doing the connection is because the fire department wants it. If they didn't want it, you wouldn't be connecting it.
Correct.
Good to know.
You know, we even turn around and, you know, nothing like dealing with a whole bunch of MIT people. You know, how about if we do it elevated? You know, and so you want to drive a fire truck in there, and you know, how far? I said, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let's not overthink this. Let's bump the brakes.
Okay.
But
Well, it's
we,
fast.
you know, it was great. It was a great exercise.
Yeah.
You know, it was. But
It was a very interesting project.
yeah, you know, you also have to consider buildup of snow. If you build this, you know, so now also we have to bring the product up to get it at 20 feet, just a number.
Right.
You have to bring the product up, you have to bring all the materials up, you have to bring the staff up, you have to, now all of a sudden when it's made, when the cable is made, now you have to bring it down. So it just became a workflow,
Okay.
you know, headache. But the only reason why we're doing this road is for the fire chief.
Okay.
And it's 100% understandable. And my client understands that the normal procedure is they come in the front door and find out where the event is.
Okay.
And we had that conversation with the Conex boxes.
Mhm.
That's what prompted the,
Yep.
okay, so how do we do this, you know? Take down the hill and go this way. Have a nice day.
Okay.
So
Good.
we'll go
Well,
with that.
I'll get you a list, get us a wetland line, and then the engineering can begin.
Great.
So,
Well,
do we
any
have
other?
to vote on the RDA, or it's not being pursued with that plan for the RDA, so?
Right, or withdraw it?
Yeah, sounds like it's gonna
Great.
pull it back,
Yeah,
withdraw, whatever.
yep. So if you could just,
I'll send you something. We're
Yeah.
trying that.
yep.
Great. Any other questions?
Nope.
Thank you very much for your time.
Well, thank you. And Joanne's been, I've done this a couple of times, and she's a pleasure to work with, you know, because some communities know what stronger language to follow. She tries to get you there. She tries to get you to the promised land, so you're lucky. Really, it's,
Well, we are lucky.
yeah.
We're not
Thank
letting
you.
her go to that.
Happy holidays, everyone.
You too.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Kevin.
Kevin.
I'll put that in the minutes.
Okay.
Well, because Joanne is fantastic.
Stating the obvious.
Okay.
All right.
Mark said, stating the obvious. Any other pithy comments?
Is that shorthand or what is that?
That's bad handwriting, that only I can read.
Just,
And there are days when I get there and I think, what on earth did I write?
What did that mean? For the incomplete sentence, you go,
All right, let's do some interviews. Would you care to join us, Scott?
certainly.
How are you this evening?
All right.
So in your packets, you have, in a little binder tip, the 3 letters of interest and 3 resumes in order.
And you brought the checks for each guy?
There'll be two,
Hot chocolate.
I'll do
Really-
cash.
George was looking for hot chocolate. And now I am too.
It does sound pretty good.
Yeah,
It is cold in here.
it is.
Yeah, weak blood.
You could take a 5-minute break and do some jumping jacks. Warm you up.
Yep, that would do it. That would do it. Hot chocolate would be more fun though.
So can you just give us just a brief explanation of why you would like to join us?
I find this work interesting so far from what I've seen recently. I I think the town is growing. I think a lot of it's been developed. I think a lot of it's water. It's one of the things that makes this town very interesting. And I think there's going to need to be a balance between growth and landowner rights and protection of a common resource, which is our town's water supply and environmental concerns. So in a nutshell.
Good. Thank you. There is a time commitment. It's not too much, but every other Thursday, more or less. And Saturday or Sunday, some evening site visits when they crop up. Probably not too many coming up, but
Nope.
when the ground's covered.
Typically Saturday. Yeah.
What's that?
No, just typically Saturday.
It's Saturday,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
pretty rare that we do a night thing. I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever done a Sunday one yet. Maybe you guys did before me, but.
Talked
I
about
don't
it.
think we talked about it, but
Yeah.
we did do a night one for Air Solar too, evening one. You have to bring your flashlight.
And the oil spill, that was an
An evening?
a late afternoon.
Mhm.
Anyway.
So it's, a bit of a commitment, which I'm sure you're aware of.
Yes, and that was actually one of my earlier concerns too, and I wrote my letter of interest, is I'm actually going to be taking up a position in a different volunteer organization too, so I'm not sure that the initial position for me to start out is actually a full member, because I'm not sure, there's sort of less of the time commitments for the meetings so much as the ramp-up time to try to learn and educate myself on all the different things that one would need to learn. I think is going to take more of a time commitment than I might initially have to be a full member. So I know
Well, it's
that.
sort of on-the-job training. I think we all see that as you sort of learn as you go. There's not too much outside of MACC conferences which are once a year.
I knew everything when I started.
And I wouldn't believe the things she said to me.
And I clearly don't know everything, even though I'm sitting here.
But as you heard, we have an awesome
This is what I'm
administrator
saying.
that helps educate us too.
Why he's sitting there.
Yeah.
And now, having been on for just over a year myself, I came in not knowing much, still have a lot to learn, and, these have all been my mentors, in addition to the MAs, the conferences and such, so, don't let that concern you.
Okay.
Based on what I'm reading here, I don't know, it looks like you have a tough time learning things.
I have a significant history of background of administration and interfacing with government's policies and writing policies, procedures,
ask
and
about that.
dealing with other governmental organizations. So yeah.
Yeah, there seems to be like a lot of administrative overlap time-wise, and just seems, how did you find the time for all this? Was it literally concurrent, or?
Well, it was like all great careers. It was going well until they had children. So
Okay. Understood.
So you would be, at this point, more interested in, like, if we resurrect the associate member, be more interested in
I
that?
think that's my only concern right now, is I'm not quite sure how much, the other thing, it's Cub Scouts basically, that is, I'm going to be the committee chair for, how much time that's going to require. But particularly because that's a ramp-up position for me to learn too, all the behind-the-scenes, at least for the next year, until I've kind of seen how everything runs. But beyond that, no, it would be interesting to know, particularly as the children are getting older, they're a little more self-sufficient and happy to be home alone and want me to leave the house so they can be home alone. So.
Yep.
Okay.
One of the things we're going to work on after the new year, we'll be starting to look at our regulations, right? And so for doing that, we could also, if you were an associate member, you could also still participate in that, and that actually would be good to have perspectives that are trying for that balance that you mentioned.
Definitely good training too, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I mean, the idea of having such a role, not just for me, but in general, does make sense because it would allow continuity when people segue out for transition planning. And I don't know if you'd want to go, I don't know what the logistics or the legal issues are for having people being able to vote to have a quorum if a full member wasn't going to be there, but certainly that would be, I'm sure, appreciated for other members of the community when they have something they want to do and, you know, an emergency comes up and people can't be here. So, but I guess those are future decisions. So.
We can definitely do an associate member, which is non-voting.
Right,
Mhm.
non-voting.
But we recently learned the town of Charlton went through the state legislature, which is what it took, to pass a bill allowing them to have alternate members. Alternate members can vote, can replace somebody who has to recuse themselves or
In
have to
absentia,
miss meetings.
sure.
So if we could pursue the associate, and then if you felt like you were really getting more and more interested, we could, that might be then worth it, going to the town and saying, okay, talk to town council, because there's now an established legislative path. It should be.
To do those things.
If we pursue that now, do we have to appoint somebody at that, once it's approved? I mean, could we start pursuing it and get it basically approved by town, and then when we find the candidate?
Yeah,
Because that might be the way to go.
just get that started.
Yeah.
I'd be in favor of that.
Absolutely.
Osage.
But if you were interested in the associate, it would give you some flexibility, I think. You wouldn't necessarily have to come to every single meeting. And you could start soaking all this in slowly. There's a lot to learn.
There is a lot to learn, and I would want to just make sure I did the job right, and and not, I don't know, that's my own neuroses, I suppose, but I also don't fully know exactly if I can commit to every Thursday night right now, just because I don't fully know what this new position is going to entail. So.
But that would be the nice thing with the associate, is you can start to dabble,
Yeah.
and, you know, and even to the point of like, well, maybe it's not right for me, and you really haven't made any commitment then too, right? So that might not be such a bad thing.
We'd be dating.
So,
Yes.
Yeah.
Great, yes.
no commitment.
Put that in the minutes too.
Purely platonic.
What?
Purely platonic.
So how old do Cub Scouts get to be? When do you age out of Cub Scouts?
After 5th grade, and then they can,
Yeah,
if they choose to go into Boy Scouts, then they can at that point.
Do they have Weeblos anymore? Or is that
They still do, still a 2-year program.
Well,
Yeah.
Weeblos was like, I think 10, 11-ish or something like that. Right?
Okay.
And is it teen basically you become Boy Scout?
Yeah, at around 12 usually, 12 to 13.
Okay.
12, around there. It's more grade-based than age-based.
It's okay. Good remember. It's been a few years.
I'm thinking
It's
of
been a
our
few
Never made it to
trails.
Boy Scouts.
It's okay. You can still join and volunteer.
Oh, jeez. Okay. As an associate?
I say, any capacity you'd like.
You did observe some of our more difficult meetings recently. Were you comfortable with how the commission conducted itself, or?
Yeah, I think it's hard to be the bearer of, to tell people no, and to be the bearer of bad news. And that's everybody wants to please other people and to be agreeable. And I think that's always a challenging position to do. And I think the real challenge is, knowing it's not personal, but it feels personal. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you did a nice job, I thought, of talking with with some of the people that were at the meeting and getting your point across, but also maintaining good relations. That's
I think the point of government is you express your opinion and you let somebody else make a decision. That's the purpose. So.
Any other questions?
So what's the best treatment for yellow jacket stings?
Well, the
Yeah,
first one would be
too.
prevention, which would be to avoid being stung. So,
When you got Jess along with you, when Jess is
Oh,
along,
yeah.
she goes stomping along.
heavy clothing.
Yeah, that particular day was cool. I was wearing long blue jeans and I had my metal ACO brace on, which a bunch of them were clustered on. Fortunately, that, yeah, as I went running down the street to my car with them along, coming along.
Oh,
Yeah, there's some interesting environmental hazards to this
I missed that.
volunteer position.
Yeah, I think it was,
Darn it.
yeah, right before.
I don't remember that one.
so we'll just send you first.
Decoy.
Yes.
Should be nothing.
Anything else?
Do you have any other questions for us, or?
I don't. I think, once you guys make a determination, let me know what. I know there's earlier we had talked before. I talked with you about. You said there was a whole treasure trove of information to learn from, and to read
Yes.
from, and
Yes.
so I'll just in my mind I kind of filed those away, but just like names and phone numbers, I didn't retain the exact nomenclature of what they were. So I'll have to get those from you. So.
All right, I can drop you a note.
Yeah, email's great. So.
Yeah.
That way, if I'm feeling having insomnia at night, I can take care of it. I don't know how interesting it is.
will
But
take care of it.
Yeah, the Wetland Protection Act regulations will just,
good,
you'll sleep like a baby.
excellent.
Okay.
All right.
I appreciate you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Of
Yeah,
course.
thanks.
Yeah.
All right.
Sir?
Merry Christmas.
Will you guys be doing regular business the rest of the night, or is it more interviews tonight?
2 more interviews, and then regular business.
Then lots of regular business.
I'll balk.
Oh, very
Okay.
good.
Take care.
Thanks.
I just got home. Well, close to home. So, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, how are you?
A little early. So,
Yeah, that's all right.
don't let me rush you. You guys need to do other stuff. That's fine.
So is Jennifer, is it
Yeah.
Amaya, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, I think so.
Amaya.
Yep, she confirmed.
Okay.
And,
So we have 3 minutes, and, what was your last name again? Tracy. Yeah. We're continuing that meeting.
Oh, he's not going to have it tonight?
Right.
Oh, you're here for
Oh, yeah,
Shaker Mill?
Shaker Mill.
Right, for the
Right.
development.
Mr. Borland's not coming this evening, so we're going to continue the public hearing until
January.
the 9th, is that what it is?
9th.
Until January 9th.
Yep. Okay, we'll go back to our warm house.
And a cold track
Get our
here.
coats on, all right?
I'll get stopped by mine and throw another log on my fire.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy
Same to you.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
Take care.
We'll see you in the new year.
New Year.
Okay. very good.
Bye.
Drive safe out there. We're in another cycle of melt and freeze.
Oh, I know. Yep.
Yeah, we've got some warm weather to come.
Come on up.
After, please. Yes,
How are ya?
good. How are you, Jennifer?
Very good. I'm stuck on the chair a little bit. Other than that,
It's nice to see you.
You as well.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
So I feel like I'm at a little bit of an advantage because I've already spent some time with Jen at
Okay.
one of her neighbors' houses.
Yes. Yep.
And I feel like I should introduce you to the whole bunch. Jen, this is Mark, and
Hi, Mark.
George, and
George,
John, and Jess.
Jess, hello.
And you prefer Jen?
Jen is fine. Yeah, thank you.
You don't know name with the juices.
Yeah.
Jen, Jess, John, George.
Oh, Mark.
And Mark.
It's okay. We still love you.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, it is.
That's interesting.
The J names
Let's
are
get right
strong.
Yes.
Would you tell us a little bit about why you're interested in joining the commission?
Sure. So my husband and I moved to Ayer just over a year ago in October. And being a part of kind of the town community and town helping where I can has always been important to me. We lived in Dracut previously, and I was able to work with the elections department, got to work election days, which was so much fun, and do different things. And so when I came here, I knew that was something that I wanted to do. Living where we do and realizing, unfortunately, a little late, kind of what our house being built, how that impacted things or could be impacting things, kind of hit us a little bit harder. We didn't understand kind of our house is basically in the wetlands, as Joanne could say. And if we'd known more about that, I don't know that we would have necessarily been willing to kind of buy into that type of building in that area. So it's just very important to both of us to make sure that we do our part, to make sure that there's no other impact, whether it be from our raised beds or anything else we want to do. So when I heard that this was not only a thing, the commission, but also that there was an open seat, I thought there's a way that I can make sure that not only our impact is kind of lessened, but also make sure that I can help in the town. So it kind of paired those two things, my desire to be a part of the town, contribute to the town community, but also ensure that the impact and everything that we're doing is lessened in any way. Also just to become more knowledgeable. As I said, we didn't know when we were buying the house kind of what we were buying into or the repercussions that could come from it. So being a part of this team would definitely educate me in that way.
Yeah.
So you're not technically in the wetlands, you're in the buffer zone? You didn't permit any? No, okay.
We're just so close. It seems like we might as well be, honestly. I mean, and we love the place. We're so excited to be here, but we just didn't know when we bought it, so.
Well, I didn't know when we moved in. I mean, Jess just told me a whole bunch of stuff like, man, you can't do this and you can't do this. It's like, why?
And that was definitely our reaction as well. We were, like, we can't do raised beds. But that's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. No, it was necessary.
Yeah. Because you don't know these things, though, right?
Exactly.
Like, it's not like the builder told us. It's not like the real estate agent told us. We just found it out.
I think the builder
Was supposed to
should have
tell
told
you.
you.
Well, the builder was supposed to do a lot of things, so that's okay.
When I moved into my house, I did not know any, had not heard of the Wetland Protection Act, period.
And Jess lives on Sandy Pond.
Oh, okay, so you're even more...
Yeah, and then I was doing a project and I had to do an NOI, and George, you were on the commission at the time, and it's like, except for George, it was like, oh, what a lovely group of people. That was when I first learned about things. So, following a similar trajectory.
Yes.
So.
That's how we all learn.
Yes.
Anyone have any questions?
Time.
Time commitment.
Yes.
So it's basically every other Thursday. There's a few times when it's a 3-week break. And site visits, which generally occur on a Saturday. And how many site visits did we do last year? Do you have a sense? Was it maybe, was it a dozen? It wasn't even that many, was
I don't think it was that. Well, there weren't that many Saturdays. We will do several sites. We'll try to hit several sites on Saturday.
Right, yeah. But those are important to, having your eyes see exactly what's going on is so important.
Sure.
and for me, necessary to get a sense of what needs to be done.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the timing doesn't seem to be an issue. The only thing I will mention is I'm on a board at work as well, and that meets one Thursday a month, not every month. And when I mapped out the first and third, second and fourth, there was one or two throughout 2020 that seemed to conflict. So there might be two
A couple.
meetings that I wouldn't be able to attend.
Well, none of us have a perfect attendance record.
I was hoping that wouldn't be held against me, but wanted to be as forthcoming as possible.
I appreciate that.
But no, and Saturdays aren't a problem, so.
Normally it's at 5 a.m.
That's fine. My alarm goes off at 5:15, so that's actually not too bad. Don't scare me, I take commuter rail, it's fine.
From what I've seen, you don't scare easily, so. Anyone else? Some questions?
Do you work in Cambridge?
I do, I work at Harvard College, the undergrad, in financial aid, and I've been doing financial aid pretty much forever, it seems like at this point. So I'm very familiar with federal regulations. I'm very good at reading things and interpreting things and making sure that we're staying within the rules, but also recognizing gray areas and all that fun stuff.
We have a lot of gray area.
Most regulations do, and sometimes it can be frustrating, right? Because you're like, just tell me what to do, but then in other ways you're like, yes, I can do that because look, this is what you say, and it's important for me daily to help students so that I can look at it and say I'm still within the regulation and not skirting it in any way, but I'm also helping the student, and I think here helping the families in Ayer as well as the community and the environment. So.
Well, that's sort of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was going to say it's just part of our job is to look at the gray areas and
Definitely.
try to make everyone happy.
Yes.
So.
And yet sometimes people are very unhappy.
I did get that impression from the meeting that I attended, but
That was rare.
That was
It is rare, actually.
That was the first time in the 14, 15 months that I've been here that it was like that.
yeah.
So yeah, that's,
And it's understandable, right? I mean, this
Sure.
is, someone's home they're talking about and everything, so it's understandable people would be tempers flare, but I deal with parents and their kids in college and money, so yeah, you can,
Yeah.
not a lot that I can't hear.
Sure.
Have you ever worked on writing regulations or developing regulations?
Developing policies and procedures, but not regulations at like the state or federal level, but within an institution, yes.
We passed a new wetland bylaw this fall.
Yes, I voted for it. I shouldn't have said that. I didn't mean to say. But yes, I was at that town meeting and it was wonderful.
Yeah, and so one of the things we'll be doing this next year is starting to draft performance standards for regulations. But we want to find that sweet spot between property rights and protecting the environment, of course, so that we don't get run out of town.
Of course. Yeah, it's a delicate line to walk.
and the timing of the meeting, 7, no issues.
Oh, sure. I say that, but as long as commuter rail gets me home on time, but I'm usually in town by 5:30. Occasionally, the MBTA doesn't cooperate, but yeah, that's not a problem.
Yeah, okay.
You must be on the same train with George then.
I try to take the express, so the 440,
Yeah,
and that's usually nice, but I don't know which one you.
yeah, well, that one.
Okay, that's a good one.
Can rename it the Conservation Commission Express.
We can tell them, no, we have a meeting to go
Right.
to.
Get this train moving. Yep.
And I think I mentioned to you in an email, we do participate in the Mass Association of Conservation Commissions, and like twice a year they have a nice one-day conference with all sorts of workshops and training things. And cool merchandise in some cases.
That's
Well,
important.
and today they put on a webinar, a 45-minute webinar, talking about the proposed changes to the Wetland Protection Act regulations.
Okay, at the state level?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. So that they're
They do all kinds of interesting things. Yeah.
It's important to stay up to date on those things and just even to hear kind of the murmurs of what's going on. I do a lot of webinars and trainings for federal regulations, and a lot has been going on lately. So
Well.
it's important to stay on top of it.
Yeah, there's a public comment period for this, and the MACC is really very active. They do a lot of advocacy stuff as well as education for all of us.
Very nice. I know that was one of my concerns, is obviously I have the regulation background, but I don't have the conservation background at all. So to know that there's training available is important.
As I said with the previous interviewee, I knew everything when I started, so.
And we all laughed.
Yes.
She's a rare bird.
I'm impressed.
Well, so we all just rolled our chairs away so we wouldn't get hit by lightning.
Let me give that head a little bit of room.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, so
Excellent.
we're also jolly. Yeah.
It is a nice commission.
Can I ask how long everyone's been on it? You mentioned 14, 15 months.
Something like that. September, October.
Okay.
18? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since 2001.
Oh, so are you the longest serving
Yeah.
member? Okay.
He's the sage.
Right.
You sit there quietly and just comment when appropriate, and I like it.
We get the look and.
We consult.
How long have you been on?
2008,
Oh, wow, okay.
and sage number 2.
I think I've only
Pre-sage.
I've only been on for
Pre-sage.
Pre-sage.
a little bit over 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you came on around the same time. I was here first.
And you,
She was here
and you've been here how long?
2 years. It's 2 years at the end of September, so,
Okay, so it's just a little bit over 2 years.
yeah.
So a good
Yeah,
mix.
Hmm?
A good mix of
Yes,
short-timers, long-timers.
yes. Lots of experience and lots of enthusiasm.
Yep. And full-time help, which is nice. I'm the
And
full-time
that's-
help.
That's right. I remember you telling me that.
And it's in the minutes that she's fantastic, so.
Right?
Yeah. Once it's in the minutes.
It's got to be true.
Yeah.
Have you ever taken minutes?
No, I've taken meeting notes, but not official minutes,
Oh.
which seems to be a lot more pressure than just regular meeting notes. So.
Have you gone online to look at our meeting minutes?
I have, yes.
This is the gold standard. This is what's beyond platinum.
Probably associates.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, is this something that belongs to the new member?
No.
No.
Okay. Wasn't sure if you're like, okay, new person, we get to take the meeting notes.
No, it's more the skill level
Oh, okay.
and the
Fair.
accuracy level
Gotcha.
that many of us aspire to, but none of us have attained.
No, it really, they're super helpful in kind of recreating
Definitely.
the flavor of it, shall we say? Well, more so for things that come back up after a couple of years. And, like a violation, or somebody who was given a violation years ago and then 4 years later does exactly what they were told not to do previously, and then they can say, we told you this.
I'm a huge proponent of notes. It's very helpful when students come back and say, no one told me, and we're like, well, actually,
Yeah.
actually. So yes, I understand the use there.
Good.
Is there anything else?
And just, some of our meetings sometimes go to 10.
Oh.
We haven't usually gone past 10:30 lately.
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, when I first came on, they were routinely
Pushing 11.
late. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
But we would start late too.
Well, we're
so.
gonna start late then.
The old
Yeah.
regime.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's been 10 o'clock. We've gotten out 9:30.
8:30 once.
8:30, that was a dream.
Yeah.
I went home in Maryland, I was like, what are you doing? Why are you here?
What are you doing?
That's right. Well, we appreciate your interest and thanks for coming in this evening.
Definitely. And obviously I've been chatting with Joanne and Jess, so if you have any questions, definitely let me know. Do you have a time frame for when you think you might want decision, new person to start attending, all that fun stuff?
That would be pretty quick.
Okay, great.
Like when the
When the buzzer goes off.
For whom the bell tolls. Very good. Well, thank you all for your time.
Yeah,
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
And it's nice to meet you. I'm Kevin Murphy. I've been attending a few things here and there in town. I just moved in September, so
Oh, wonderful.
probably one of the newest people. So
Well, welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank
As
you.
as a year-plus member, I can tell you as an old timer in town, it's a great place to be. Thank you all for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Have a great
Thank you.
night.
Good night.
Thanks, Zoe.
Happy holidays.
You as well. Thank you.
all right, so cool. Right on time.
Right on time. Right on time.
The well-oiled machine here. Yes.
So if I can get this done in like 25 minutes, then that'll be a new record for you getting out of here, huh?
Oh, no.
Oh,
Have you seen the rest of the agenda?
Oh.
No, I believe you got less than 25.
Okay,
Yep.
that's good. So
So if you could just please give us a little.
So my name is Kevin Murphy. I live in 20 William Street up the hill from here. So definitely not in the wetlands, at least as long as no more water comes into my basement. So similar to Jen, I don't have any direct experience on previous conservation commissions, but I'm familiar with some of the overall considerations, which you might be surprised to know if you've been doing this for a while or cared about it for a while. There's a lot of people out there who don't even really think about this. Like I remember I used to be working at the shipyard up in Maine, and I forget how it came up, but I realized that they didn't have any training about the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, the other MBTA. And so I made one, and I have no idea whatever happened to that PowerPoint presentation. It's probably long gone, but I did my part to be like, here, like you can't just go whack to the seagull nest. They're annoying but protected. So I was actually down at another, I guess it's technically a wetland. So I am now going to be the consulting safety guy for the Suffolk Downs redevelopment. And the creek runs right through that place, and so it's like on the wetland. And so I've had a few things to say about those considerations as they're going to start the demolition process soon after the holidays, and it'll be interesting to be keeping an eye on that project, because I'm aware that a couple of years ago, while they were still doing horse racing, they were fined by the EPA for basically dumping the horse poop down the river. So
What town is that
Really?
in?
So half of it is in Revere and the other half is in East Boston.
Okay.
And so Revere is like, go ahead and do it. And Boston is still waiting for a few things to be considered. So they're just going to go ahead and get started with Revere. It'll be a good project. I mean, anything would be better than the dilapidated shacks that are there right now. So it'll be good.
Do you have a sense if the time commitment is doable?
So I do, and the answer is as far as the eye can see, it's going to be hit or miss, honestly. That's why I wanted to leave it up to you guys to see, like, okay, well, I had no idea who else you'd really be considering, and I did not want to just say, like, it's going to be too hard and not try if I was the only guy to step up and do it, because I was at that really interesting big town meeting, and I met Jess and I met Mark, and I didn't even realize he was on the Conservation Commission, and didn't even know that it was a thing, and then she asked me to get involved, and so I started showing up as best as I could, and here I am.
She just goes around asking strangers if they'll join.
It's my pickup line.
So,
I'd like to be a little conservation teacher.
So it is.
I was told there would be candy.
It's every other Thursday evening, and there are normally Saturday morning site walks. Not every Saturday for sure, but I don't know, probably not even once a month. It's not even once a
Yeah,
month.
they say maybe once a month?
Maybe.
Oh, wow, could be actually done one.
Yeah. In the summertime when it's busy,
Shaker
they can be
Mill
more
Pond.
often.
Oh, yeah, the follow-up one with the planning board, just pop us.
Yeah, we had another board crash our, our site walk.
Oh.
It was a good thing.
Okay.
It was a good thing.
Yeah. It was a good thing. So there's a time commitment for sure.
Yeah, ideally, it really shouldn't be a problem for me to get here at 7. But stuff happens. Like, I ended up picking up my son from school and then bringing him to his mother's house in Westford, and then waiting for her to get home while making him mac and cheese because the train was delayed for some reason, like the tracks broke. So
As they do.
Other
What'd you
MBTA.
do?
yeah. So yeah, stuff like that happens, and in that situation, yeah, I kind of have to pick up my son from school and do my part as a dad. And I figure as long as you guys have a quorum, life goes on, and hopefully that will be rare, and that's just an unlucky start to getting things rolling. But I feel like I really do have a lot to contribute to this committee. I really care about this issue. I want to make sure that we are redeveloping the town in a smart way that considers the existing residents as well as being welcome to newcomers like Jen, and do it in a smart way that doesn't give her buyer's remorse for having what I'm sure must be a beautiful house in the wetland.
Really just very, very near the wetland. Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a really exciting time to be moving into town and getting involved with this, because the debate we had over updating the wetland law was really interesting. And as far as I know, you guys haven't been, like knocking down people's doors and, as like an unelected body that's just here to take over the town, or like whatever that guy was saying. So I wasn't too worried about that, but and plus, like, even if you had to appeal something to the DEP, I've dealt with the DEP before. Like, as long as you give them a heads up, they'll be really nice to you. If you try to hide something from them, they're not going to be happy. So that's all there is to it. Like, if there's if there's an oil spill and you swear it was just like, less than a quart. Don't worry about it. It's like, actually, it was 10 gallons. If you told them about the quart, they would be much happier.
What did we have with the Page Hilltop oil spill? Was that 400 or 500 gallons?
It was 700.
Was that 800
gallons.
Yeah. 800 gallons of
Well,
fuel oil delivered
goody.
in a pipe directly to real wetlands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that must have been
an oil
fun.
spill on the railroad a few years ago, and they did exactly that. The railroad said, oh, it's just a couple gallons. And then the fire department came, and the EPA, DEP, and,
There was a lot more.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
because one of their employees dropped a dime on them.
Dropped a
Dropped a dime. Which is becoming an expression that's no one knows what it means. So nobody puts a dime in a payphone anymore.
Not anymore. Oh, that's where it came from.
I remember, like, maybe 10 years ago, there was a country song that went something like, here's a quarter, call someone who cares. And I'm thinking, but it costs 50 cents now. It's like, it kind of made the song funnier. Like, what am I supposed to do with only 1 quarter? It's not enough to make a call.
My mother used to always make sure I had a dime in my shoe when so that I could call home
It's a time.
from a payphone. From a payphone. With a phone book in it, even, you know?
So I must confess, because I was probably a little too harsh on the Board of Health, sticking up for my neighbor. You might have heard about the Stone Soup Kitchen doing the potluck thing.
Yeah.
And so, as someone who's spent most of his adult life working for the government in one way or another, just hearing about how that all went down was appalling. So I was really flabbergasted that there was a real breach of public trust in how that went down. Because that's, like, for someone who really cares about public service, you really care about not just, it's not about like, oh, I'm going to go in there and raise as much hell as possible with all the authority that I have and exceed it if I can. It's just like really stick it to them. That's not what you're supposed to do. It's supposed to be an orderly, predictable rule of law so everyone can play by the rules and know what to expect and life goes on in a peaceful way. And in my current career as more of a safety guy, I can tell you OSHA's the same way, and that's sort of the philosophy that I'm bringing to the table for the Conservation Commission, that I don't want to stick it to them like, Captain Planet beating up the bad guy. They want to build houses, they want to redevelop the town and bring more people in. Great. Let's just help them do it in a way that doesn't wreck the place.
Yeah, that's our goal.
And when it comes to being able to pick apart regulations and just manage a project, that is basically what I do. So really, like, no matter what your job is as a government guy, you're really if you're successful at it, it's because you understand project management, and everything else just kind of falls into place. It just comes in different flavors. Whether you could be a dentist and then end up managing the parking garage, like whatever the case may be. They kind of just find the good managers and make them do more and more and more and more stuff. But anyway, long story short, I'm working as a consultant now, and now I get to really focus more on doing work as a certified safety professional, soon to be a certified industrial hygienist. And adding on top of that, the really awesome training that it looks like is on offer from MACC, I'm really excited about that. I'll be even more excited about it after I've actually taken the CIH exam and I'm no longer studying for that. And then being able to devote my full free time to studying that stuff. And that sounds like a really good continuation to put the E back into EHS, like environmental health and safety. Focusing on the E is in dire need these days. And so it'll be helpful for me to be more helpful to other people if I'm here just learning from you guys. And that can be accomplished by me being on the board as an alternate, as just an attendee. I'm not going to have an ego about that. If you pick somebody else because you figure like, oh wow, he's, he or she is gonna be great, then good. I want people that can get the job done and know what they're doing. So I'm just here to help and wanted to throw my name out there because I really, even if it's tough, I realized by now that it's never going to be a perfect time. It's never going to be easy. So you kind of just got to do as much as you possibly can. And then looking back, I'll be more pleased with myself, I guess, rather than saying like, you know, I didn't even try. So.
Well, we appreciate your interest and appreciate very much your time in coming here this evening, and we'll let you know.
Thanks. So,
Thank you.
yeah, welcome back.
Scott, you know Kevin, right? Kevin,
Yes,
Scott.
So I'm just going to be sitting over here now because the meeting's not over yet.
Right.
Thanks.
Shall we take this up again on Tuesday?
Yes.
Well, no, not this Tuesday, unless you can come in earlier on Tuesday.
This coming?
Yeah.
I'm going to be in Ohio.
Oh, that's
so
right, you're away.
I will.
Well, when you get back.
Yep. And the following Tuesday is just a half a day for you, is that correct?
Yeah, half a day till 1:30.
Yeah.
Okay. So I could come in
Yeah.
in the morning, Tuesday
Okay.
in the morning, and we could.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Off we go. So this is the public hearing, notice of intent, Shaker Mill Pond, DEP file number 100-0437, and that is going to be, I'm assuming, continued.
Yes, John Boardman sent a letter requesting that it be continued to our next meeting.
So is there a motion to continue this public hearing until the 9th of January?
Next year.
2020?
Next year.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next item is public hearing, NOI Town of Ayer Pine Meadow Conservation Area Leveling Device, DEP file number 100-0441.
I'm happy to say we finally received our DEP file number on this one. So in your packet, you've got a letter from Fish and Wildlife regarding the natural heritage filing we had to do as part of this NOI. Blanding turtles are in the neighborhood of our beaver deceiver, so they requested we add the 4 conditions that are on the second page of this letter to our notice of intent, which I have done. And the order of conditions are here with their special conditions all ready to sign.
So we installed it after October 15th, right? Or did we, or before?
Right about then,
Yeah.
in that same week. Yeah.
So that condition would probably just mean maintenance should be
I think they just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
we weren't dropping the pond level drastically to,
Yeah.
For overwintering.
Yeah, yeah. And really, it only went down a foot. Which may matter a lot to a turtle, but it also wasn't cold enough.
Not
It was a long, warm fall, so I don't feel like we
Yep.
put any turtles in danger. Yeah. The one other special condition that DEP asked for, which is in here in this order, is a condition allowing ongoing annual maintenance. So the special conditions, instead of our usual 54, we have 5. It looks kind of funny. Little tiny short special condition section. But I'm glad Fish and Wildlife is looking out for the Blandings turtle. We're very lucky to have them here.
Joanne, when they say the authorization duration, so it's only good for 5 years and we have to reapply? Is that what they're basically insinuating?
I read that as being we had 5 years to actually complete the work.
To do the
Oh,
work.
okay.
I think we'll get her done.
I see what you
I'm
mean.
pretty
Okay.
sure we've got that covered.
All right,
Mm.
yep.
And the compliance report is,
I've got the before and after pictures.
Mhm.
I just have to actually pull it together and send it off to them.
Okay.
so do we make a motion to approve this as amended?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
So do we approve and sign and then close the hearing?
Yeah. Because if we close it first, then we can't sign.
Huh.
It all falls apart.
Oh darn. That's it for special conditions. It fits on one page of paper.
If I wanted to see the beaver deceiver, like, do you have it mapped out? Because I'm just really curious to see what it looks like
Oh, yeah.
in person. I had to look it up the last time you guys mentioned it. And now I am on like the Beaver Management Facebook group, and they're like, "Oh, welcome aboard."
Ooh,
And then,
nice.
and all I did was just post like, "Hey, I'm new to the board, just here to learn about beavers." And I've never even seen a beaver. I don't know what. So and then all of a sudden they just start all these comments, and they're like arguing with each other about what I need to know to like.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, so
Oh, that one.
so that'll be a thing. I'll try to learn about beavers.
Yeah, well, the...
Do we have a motion? I'm sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
Do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Right.
We put a beaver deceiver, the outflow from Long Pond a number of years ago, and it's a big pipe that flows through, and they have it fenced off, and so the beavers put their material against the fencing, but the pipe that goes out to a cage where they leveled it. Well, so this one fall, we had a beaver swam up the pipe and showed up out in the water. And you could just see the very top of the grate of the cage that enclosed the pipe.
The inlet, yep.
Yeah, and this poor little beaver sticking his head up.
And Mike came and got him? Or,
No, I talked to him on the phone. This was on a rainy November Saturday, very cold. And he said, well, you need to cut like make 4 cuts if you create a hole. So the fire department came out. I had my kayak over there. So they used my kayak, and they had bolt cutters, because I had tried it with dinky little bolt cutters.
it's really
Yeah.
serious.
So they cut out a piece of the grating, and the beaver, they did it on the top instead of the side, so the beaver was like, what do I do with it?
Climb out.
So I waded in a little bit later just dragged a dead big tree branch out to it, and so he could grab onto something, and then we got out. And then Mike came and
Patched it.
Patched it,
Ah,
yeah.
good.
And then they put a grate at the
End of the pipe.
end of the pipe so they can't do
Right,
that.
right, and the new beaver deceiver has that kind of
Yeah.
grate over.
He hadn't had that happen before.
I can't believe that they wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bill was our
I don't know,
former
let you do
chair.
a lot of
He thought,
things.
oh, we'll eventually figure out how to get out. It's like,
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's like they say, like you can lead a cow up the stairs, but you
yeah,
can't get it down.
yeah, you try walking away when you have this level water, you can see the edge of a grate, this little face, peeking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay. Shall we move on?
Yes, sir.
Next item is a discussion on the affidavits or orders of conditions.
Yes, we still haven't received any. Any. And
From,
Pingree
Pingree
Hill.
okay.
And we've got someone who's gonna be coming to join the meeting
Tonight?
tonight, who will,
Did you text them?
I haven't yet, because we're not, but he's on my, well, I will.
Okay.
This is someone who bought on Trevor Trail, and he checked his closing documents for me and didn't sign an affidavit at closing, didn't receive the order at closing. The only mention of the order is one line as something like Exhibit A, Order of Conditions from Air Conservation Commission. So this is seeming like
And why is that? I mean, you have to fill this out for the minutes and anybody watching, but why was this an issue for him? Or why did it become noticeable?
became noticeable for him when he was speaking with the building commissioner about putting in a pool, and the building commissioner realized that he would be putting this pool in the buffer zone, and Rob, the homeowner, came down to see me. And I said, "Oh, I'm so glad you came in because I just discovered who you were and that you have cut trees in the buffer zone. And I was going to call you, but here you are." So he's coming in tonight.
Good.
He's very concerned. He wants to do the right thing, but he had no idea that, like Jen, had no idea.
Right. They weren't given the information.
No, so we have it in the order. Nobody's paying any attention to it. I'm not sure how we can get out in front of it, but it seems almost like it needs to be on us to do that.
To do that.
To connect new buyers with their order of conditions. If the real estate agent isn't, and the builder isn't, and the developer isn't, and it matters to us, then it seems like we need to figure out a way.
Right, so
Well, we don't.
as part of the order of conditions, we can have them provide a copy of the affidavit that would be given at closing as part of documentation.
That's part of it already.
Oh, actually, the affidavit is in with the order of conditions
It
that
is.
we have in the file?
Well, I don't know if the affidavit itself
The
is.
language is in there, isn't it?
The language is.
No,
They're
what I'm
supposed
saying
to
is
prove-
to,
Oh,
go ahead.
they're supposed to provide us with a copy.
Okay.
But you're saying what?
Well, I'm saying provide us with a copy prior to it being signed so that we know what is supposed to be given, right? And then, like you say, when we finally go to, what is it, approve the order conditions? Sign off on those, right? That we need that signed copy then in each one of those parcels, right? I mean, we're saying that it's,
Yeah.
you know, just like what you're looking for now, we're saying, well, we're not gonna do anything until we see those affidavits. But I'm just saying, let's have a copy of what the document is supposed to look like prior to it going to the closing.
So a copy
Right.
of an affidavit should go with the,
Right, not just the language, I think as you're saying, you know, just putting the language in the order of conditions, but we want an actual copy of that in the order of conditions in the file that we retain.
So they should submit it to us with their application.
Correct, there you go.
wait,
He said it better. The sage. That's right.
So the applicant will give us, with his notice of intent, here's the affidavit I'm going to be giving the
Okay.
eventual buyer.
that will, okay.
And then I also think that making contact with the developer's attorney to say,
Well, that hasn't done any good with Pingree Hill.
well, but I haven't actually called them. You know, they're copied on all the emails. But I haven't called Eliopolis to say, hey, this is what we need. I don't know, I feel like we might be being too passive or something, just hoping people are gonna do what they're supposed to do, and they're not.
But we don't issue a COC,
Yeah.
correct, until we get this information?
Well, that hasn't stopped the sale of the houses at
Yeah.
Pingree Hill, or Jen's house, or it,
How do they move in without a COC, without a certificate of compliance?
well,
But that's not the same as an occupancy permit. So, I mean, somebody can...
One's not dependent upon the other, I guess, right?
no, they're not. No, they're completely independent of each other. And Charlie can't hold up occupancy for us.
Okay. That was gonna be my next question.
Yeah.
How can we tie these together?
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
don't have any teeth on this.
No. Nope. No, and yet sometimes with the sale of an existing house, the attorneys and real estate agents make a huge, big deal about not having a COC. Sometimes there's a holdback at closing, sometimes they won't close,
Right.
and yet all these new houses are just skating right through. So, I don't think this is anything we can figure out tonight, but I think we need to be thinking about a way to,
It's early, I think we should figure it out tonight.
have you looked at the rest of the agenda?
Well, if I may, I had an idea. I think Joanna's onto something. What if you just send everybody a Christmas card with a little note saying, by the way, you need to do this if you didn't already. Welcome to the neighborhood, by the way. Merry Christmas. If you haven't already, would you please send us this?
Well, technically,
Or
it should be on the developer,
Right.
or who's the initial applicant, and there really should be, well, so with like Pingree Hill, I'm feeling like with the 9 COC requests we got, 7 of them are homes that have been sold, and apparently none of them did affidavits or got copies of their orders of conditions or anything. And given we've had this problem with this developer several years ago, I'm feeling like we should just maybe send a letter to also the homeowners and the developer, just say, look, we're not going to issue the COCs, period, without those affidavits. And from the homeowner, for the homeowners, you can say, if you don't want to sign the affidavit, that means you're leaving this open order on your deed, that when you go to sell your house, that's going to be a problem for you.
Right.
Or if you decide to finally deal with it, then you have to pay the filing cost at the registry instead of the developer. So that might be incentive to encourage them to sign it after the fact, because that was the problem several years ago, that a lot of people wouldn't sign it because it wasn't part of their closing, but I feel like we should start to play a bit more hardball on that.
Is there a way also that we can hold back on any new properties from being sold? Or can we not link and tie them together?
No, I think everything has to be independent, so,
But any new orders, we can ask for the affidavit and go forward like we were just saying, right? So we can start doing that. Okay,
yep.
okay.
You know,
So
I
I
don't,
like what Jess is saying, maybe we start off with just that simple phone call to the lawyers and see what sort of response you get from them verbally. And if they're still sort of hemming and hawing, I think we proceed maybe down Jess's path. I think that's a good idea. At least get the letter to the, follow up the letter to the lawyers. And
Yeah.
then, I guess let's see where the letter goes first before we contact the homeowners maybe. Like maybe that's kind of step 3.
Yeah.
you know, I want to have this be a positive experience for the homeowners.
Oh, yeah, it wouldn't.
Right, and that's what I
it wouldn't
think,
be
we push on
threatening.
the developers and the lawyers first
Right,
and say,
right.
okay, you're gonna, this is gonna get sticky,
Yeah.
and again, if you can describe what Jess basically indicated is that, you're basically putting us on the homeowner, so when they go to sell, they're gonna be pretty upset with you guys,
Yeah.
because now they're gonna be footing a bill on this.
And then also putting it to the homeowners that it's to your advantage to let the developer do this paperwork and filing it at the registry and paying that fee, rather than you having to do this in a rush 10 years from now if you're going to sell your home.
Right, exactly,
So,
yeah.
yeah, and that puts it in a really friendly term.
Right.
Um,
But in the meantime, I want the homeowners to have their orders, and I want them to know about their wetlands and help them understand how to take care of them in a positive way.
So then do you want to send the order of conditions to them and say, this is what was supposed to have been signed and this is what we're looking for?
That seems like,
And let them know we've reached out to the lawyers and we're trying to work with them, but we wanted to make you aware.
yeah.
Okay.
But that then adds a level of work that we're having to, constantly monitor. Did you sell the house yet? Did you sell these 10 houses? Who did you sell them to? And that becomes a quagmire for,
Well, it does, but at least
Yeah.
for these 7,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's,
So besides these, all the previous ones, did we receive letters for them? We're just going on the assumption that these occurred, right?
Well, back in, a few years ago, we turned in a bunch of requests for certificates, but they didn't have the affidavits. Then they went around through this law firm, so this law firm has not been that responsive. They've tried to get signatures on affidavits after the fact,
Okay.
and a lot of the homeowners said no. A few signed, but a lot said, no, I'm not signing anything new. And so I think we wound up letting that one go. I think we issued the COCs, didn't we?
I don't remember.
Yeah. I'd have to look back at our minutes,
yes.
because the conditions have been met except for that, but I feel again with the same developer, we shouldn't do this anymore. And
Yeah, agreed.
And yet these homeowners need to know.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
yes. So there's a thing where you put together for these 7, copy of the order of conditions for each of them, and yeah, something that seems friendly, and it's like we understand that.
Yep.
When we have clear ground, you might see us looking at your site, but that's on the developer to arrange that permission.
Yep.
On the more unfriendly level, what I was thinking, because this isn't an individual homeowner issue, this is a developer's issue.
Right.
Well, to a
And-
certain extent, it's definitely a developer issue, but once they were made aware of it and they decided they did not want to sign,
Oh, well then, for that.
now it's changed a little bit.
But in the process of an initial applicant
Right.
being a developer,
Yeah.
if it would be worth doing something in our up-and-coming regulations
Mhm.
that that said, because the order says the affidavit has to be provided to us
Right.
within 10 days of the sale.
Yeah.
And could we do something, would it be reasonable to do something in our regulations that said, failure to provide that initial first sale transfer affidavit will result in a $500 fine or something like that. Just something with a little bit of teeth. And obviously that wouldn't apply then to the next owner down,
Right.
just to the building developer. So.
Yep.
Yeah, and this seems to be, as you say, a problem of subdivisions. This is not although I don't think we get them for just like the random single house either.
No.
We didn't get one for the Grad's house.
An affidavit? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've been here for 2 years, I don't think I've ever seen one. So,
It's an epidemic.
it is.
Or we get rid of the requirement and just contact homeowners ourselves.
Well, I guess I don't think we should get rid of it.
Personally, no.
Yeah, because.
Just throwing it out there.
Right, yeah, so, as loosey-goosey as I am, I don't agree with that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you on this one. I guess what I'd be interested in though in seeing for Pingree Hill would be, okay, so we make the call to the lawyers.
Yep.
Follow that up with a letter.
Yep.
Get that process moving.
Yep.
But it might be good to do a mass mailing to the folks in Pingree Hill and just making them aware that we are holding up 9 or 7 COCs, whatever it is. And that in the past, again, going back to what Jess's info was, right, or what she said happened, where you haven't signed, just making you aware that, this will end up costing you when you go to sell eventually. For those of you that have signed, great. If you are interested in now signing, and please come into the office and we can arrange that or whatever, or reach out to your lawyer, whatever the right thing would be. Would it be reach out to the developer, the lawyer, and then have them provide us, or you could provide us with a copy of that affidavit. If you're interested in seeing what your order of conditions are for your property, please come to the office. Something like that. Again, to be a little bit more proactive, and you never know, maybe we'll shake a few people loose and they'll actually come and sign it.
Yep.
So.
Plus, we have a couple new subdivisions about to go in.
Right.
And
So what did we say about the affidavits, let's say, in some of those?
Oh, it's the same, but it's
Just the wording needs to be there, right? But it's still required that they're supposed to submit it, so, yeah, I think we kind of draw that hard line on this.
and maybe raise that verbally in
Sure.
the meeting, and
We could require another sign that says this property is subject to an order of conditions. So when the buyer's going to look at it,
oh,
Yeah.
Huh.
George,
So,
sign.
and that'll initiate a conversation with,
I know, because
Developer.
the DEP sign is kind of mysterious.
yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck, what does that even mean if you don't know?
Yeah, okay, so it'd be along the same lines as the DEP with the number, but this would be a different meaning. And if they want to get rid of the sign, the developer.
We can always make our own signs and have them put them up and return them afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And again, that's something we can put in our regulations as a performance,
Yeah.
kind of performance standard.
So 100 dash blah, 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 whatever, subject to OC, right? And they say, what does that mean? Oh, don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
Look how pretty this lot is, don't you worry.
Right.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
Well, there's a lot of ways to skin this cat. But I think it's important that we connect homeowners with their order of conditions.
Yeah,
some-
that's right.
in a positive way.
So you're not like catch up.
Right.
Right.
So in more practical terms for Pingree Hill, at some point, either Steve Mulaney or DeShang will come in when we actually start doing the site walks for those 9, and then we're discussing the changes. Could we, or should, I'd be in favor of requiring that a representative of Ridgeview Realty or the law firm be there as well,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can, because Steve will sit there and say, this isn't mine,
Right.
and it's not DeShang's either, and it's like, so
Right.
we should make sure that somebody
That's a
is
good idea.
there. Yep. Yep.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, I'd say developer, right? Because at the end of the day, the lawyer just works for the developer, so the
Right,
developer
yeah.
is the one that has the buck in it.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
Do you believe you'd have time in your schedule tomorrow to make that phone call, at least to the?
I don't think tomorrow. It's a half a day, and I've got a pre-construction site walk with the Gallaghers,
Okay.
which, yeah,
Yeah.
but Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, something for them to think about over the holidays.
Yeah. Right.
Here's our present to you.
Because they'll remember.
Yeah, and then as we do new subdivisions going forward, we can underscore this more, talk about the George Bacon Memorial sign.
Memorial.
Oh, not memorial.
Wow. She's got plans for you, George.
Reminder sign.
Right. What'd you say?
Honorary.
Honor
There you
the
go.
George. Yes. That's what's my intent, maybe.
So we have our little box full of signs, and we asked for them to be up by the end, but maybe we need to put them up sooner than that. Maybe they need to go up when the silt fence goes in, say, so that anybody who's coming to look at a house, that there's the little Conservation Commission sign already there.
Well, it's like if they're putting in a retaining wall, that'll go in after the silt fence, but.
It just might have to be moved.
Hmm?
It just might have to be moved.
Well,
Yeah, they can just, be
Just
just
temporary.
temporarily on a metal fence post pounded into the ground or something. Um,
Okay.
And driven over.
Yeah.
Big piece of machinery.
Right. I don't know, there's, I think we've gotta be active about this, and these are all good ideas.
Yeah. But I fear that at the end of the day, it's gonna be on you.
Yeah, that's all right, that's all right, that's
Okay.
all right. Just make it part of the dance,
Yeah. That's why you're fantastic.
I guess so.
And I still think if we, in regulations, we could specify it for subdivisions, but that, and convey this to the developers and their law firms, that look, if you failure to comply, will result in a
Yes,
fine
Yes.
per incident,
yeah,
which will go right into our wetland fund or
Yeah.
whatever.
right,
Yeah.
Right.
But,
yeah. So we don't have any teeth right now,
right,
and,
we need a few incisors,
yeah, nice, and a file,
yeah.
yeah. All right,
So we'll leave this for now.
Good discussion.
Yep.
Yeah. Next item is the final report from Solitude.
as John said, it's a Christmas miracle.
What, they recommended in here, I read it, that what they call it, hydro raking?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just removal of junk, removal of the bottom. Is that what that means? There was some
Well, it's plant removal,
Plant
not.
removal, yeah.
Not,
Not the bottom.
yeah, not substrate removal.
But there's getting to be quite a thick layer
Yeah.
according to that.
Well, we talked with them last spring about doing that, and it's expensive. It's much more expensive. And some of our plants, if you break them up, you end up with 10 million of them. It might work for the yellow water lilies
Yeah.
in certain places, but it is really expensive. I think that's why we haven't considered it.
Yeah.
They also mentioned using clipper. Did you find that?
We can't do
We
that.
cannot
We
use
can't do it.
clipper.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you meant it a couple times.
Yeah.
Well, didn't they say something about they were trying to get Clipper passed? Like, didn't they say they were doing that, or was that a different chemical? Remember when they were in here, the two guys were in here?
Yeah.
I thought they said something about, like, was it maybe a different state passed it, maybe?
Yes, but not Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But were they pursuing that?
I don't know if they,
Okay.
yeah, and it was a problem with the label on the bottle, I think. It was a manufacturing, it was something,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
But Natural Heritage says no clipper
And this being a great pond,
in the
It's not.
ACEC and,
It's like-
yeah. And it looks like what we're doing is working pretty well.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're basically just recommending
More of
more of
the
the
same.
same.
Yeah.
What's this curly leaf? Is that over by your house there? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A kitty litter or something?
Well, kitty litter, it's like, sandy pond.
Sand,
Right, yeah. Well, that would be disgusting. And don't do that.
Well, I don't think this is anything we can all digest in one quick glance. It really deserves a good read through. But really, once we get the final report, it's time to start thinking about next year already. And this needs to be on Springtown meeting.
Right. And we still have to talk to Robert about the mechanism, because if we pursue a contract in a timely fashion for Springtown meeting, which you really need to get on their schedule, but we're not guaranteed having the funds until it's town meeting.
Right.
Sort of, we need to sit down with Robert again, maybe in January, and just say, how do we actually do this so that we have the funds?
Across 2 fiscal years, basically, right?
Yeah, because we need the funding to sign a contract, but we won't have the funding until later in May. That's too late for
Right, and
effective.
I still need to talk to the town accountant to see how much money we have lingering in any unexpended weed treatment appropriations. Lisa made a good point to me that the town meeting voted money is the money that can carry over year to year. And so if we put it in our operating budget, and we don't spend it all, it just goes back to the general fund. But Jess is absolutely right. It's risky. Town meeting could say no.
But aren't we, if we've signed a contract, we're bound.
Yeah.
So, I still think, you deal with budgets sometimes, streams, right? Isn't there a way to have like an accounting practice that allows for a rollover of one line item from year to year? So it accumulates, or does every accounting practice require
I suppose
the
you
year to be
could
zeroed
create a
out?
reserve
Yeah.
of some sort. You know, so, I mean, if it were to be funded out of something that's more, like I said, it goes into a general fund, let's say, but if there's a reserve that's held for that, then the reserve could be carried over, I would assume. I'm definitely not a CPA, so.
Yeah.
I think if we got into a bind where, for some reason, town meeting said no, we do have the wetlands fund. We have CPA.
I don't think the wetlands fund,
No,
it's not furthering the act.
it's only for administering the act.
Yeah. In some ways, chemical treatments are the opposite.
Well, yeah, except we're killing invasives, we're targeting invasives. I bet you we could make a case for it if we got into a real bind.
Yeah, but we'd deplete that then.
In 2 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Is there a reason it's not in our budget and it has to be in the, why doesn't it just go into our budget to begin with? I guess I don't understand why.
Well, George? Regular treatment of the pond is a contentious issue. You know, there'd be over the years, I think there'd be like treat for a couple years, and then people would say, oh, it looks fine, and then don't treat for a few years, and then the angry villagers and pitchforks showed up at Board of Selectmen meeting in 2010, 2011, and that's what started us down the path of getting a pond study, and then trying to regularize this more. But you know, over the history is the treatment's been like, yeah, then no, then yeah, then no. So,
well, and Bonnie's got that great, made that great slide showing the how the cost follows that curve too.
Right, it's just like line maintenance. If you don't do the line maintenance, eventually it's going to fall down. So what do you want to do?
Right.
But going to your suggestion that if town meeting voted it down, and then maybe the town has other funds that could cover it. But the purpose of town meeting is to express the will of the people. So that would actually, wouldn't that potentially be, that would be using town funds in a different, that would be cheating. That would be.
Yeah, they vote it down and then we go and find funds elsewhere and use town funds.
Right, that would be problematic.
Yes, and then we get to explain to town meeting the next year when the villagers are back that it's going to cost them twice as much.
No, let the villagers with the pitchforks do it.
Okay.
Let the pitchfork take out the milfoil.
No,
Yeah.
it's a sticky wicket.
It is. Oops.
Sticky wicket.
Well, I would recommend that we chew on this for a little bit and then think about getting the guys back in here early in February, maybe.
Yeah. And the other thing would be, again, pushing on that, you know, some sort of access to Flanagan Pond, because it's still going to come up at town meeting again in the spring. Why are we spending the largest sum of money on Flanagan Pond, which doesn't have public access?
Yep.
So if we have progress by town meeting on that, that would be great.
Well, and we can add that to our list of things to talk to Robert about, because that issue has been at town council for months and months and months.
They don't consider under the bridge public access?
No.
No, and you do get people standing up at town meeting to raise that very issue. So,
In terms of having them come in, maybe, so we talked about having public speaking programs. Maybe we could get them to come in and just talk about weed control in general,
yeah,
as well as this.
sure. And proper behavior on the side of a pond.
Sure.
Something?
Well, I had this thought, but it goes back to what I was just saying, the issue of Flanagan Pond has to be moved forward. But I was thinking, wonder what would happen, you know, the hydro raking is more expensive. You know, it could be a benefit to reduce some of the accumulation in Flanagan Pond. And I was wondering what would happen if we pared back the treatment of Pine Meadow and Sandy Pond for 1 year and put that money more into hydro raking, but I don't want to do that this coming year because, right, then it's like, are you putting everything into Flanagan Pond?
Yeah.
Which has no
Yeah.
access.
Yeah. So,
You could do write the article so that we funding the hydro raking, and if that's turned down, then we go with just a regular chemical.
mm,
So it's, you know, this or that. So let them decide.
okay.
It makes that piece of property on Flanagan's, that access, pretty desirable to get in there. It's-
Well, and I think,
Unless you want to provide an easement.
I'll think about that. Let me know.
You could put up a toll
Park in your
gate.
driveway.
That's okay. But, yeah, thank you. Well, that crossed my mind, but the parking is an issue. Plus, my marriage.
Plus your what?
My marriage.
Your marriage. Oh, that's all right.
That it for that?
I think that's it.
The time in?
Yep.
Open space residential development conservation restriction planning.
Yes, so I've
That's a
got,
mouthful.
I've got a little tutorial for you all. So in your packet are three very nice discussions of conservation restriction and general real estate law from UMass Extension. So I think I sent you over the course of the week Metacomet's Land Trust's discussion of what a conservation restriction is, as well as Waltham Land Trusts, that are both really very good as far as conservation restrictions go, but I realized that we probably need to back up a little bit and talk about real estate law. Not that I'm a real estate lawyer, but for some reason I know a lot about this stuff. So, oh, what did I do with it? Here it is. So actually owning real estate is a lot more complicated, I think, than people generally understand. So when you own real estate, you own the surface of the earth, but you also own the ground underneath your parcel to the center of the earth. So mineral rights, groundwater underneath your land, that's all yours also. Above the surface of the earth, you own to the part where airplanes fly. It really doesn't go out into
into outer space, but you have air rights, and that's actually where your house is in the air above the surface of your property. When you own a piece of land, you can plant a tree, you can build a house, you can dig a hole, you can do all kinds of things to physically improve your property. And the concept of the bundle of rights, talks about all the various aspects of owning your property that come along with your property. And all of these different use and occupancy, you have the right to build, you have the right to grant easements, you have the right to rent or lease, you can exclude others, you can sell, you can do all of these different things. And all of these various functions that you can cause to happen with your property, taken together in that napkin ring there, is fee simple ownership. So when you retain all the possible rights in your land yourself, and you haven't given them away, which you can do one by one, you can take these sticks out of this bundle, you can grant an easement, say. Here we go. You can grant an easement to a utility company to cross your property in the air with wires. You can grant an easement to a conservation organization that prohibits development of your property. And that's where we get into our realm of conservation restrictions. It is an easement. It has value that can be assigned. All these different sticks in the bundle have their own individual value. So an easement is basically nothing more complicated than the right of another person to use your property. So when we're talking about a conservation restriction, you still own your physical land down to the middle of the earth and up to where airplanes fly. You can still do all those other activities. You can lease, you can exclude others, you can leave it to your children in your will. In Massachusetts, we have Chapter 184, Section 31, that talks about what exactly a conservation restriction is. And we don't need to read all this. It just, Jess is going to take a picture. I can send you these slides too. I just took a picture in slow-mo.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. Wow. So we've got this law that says one of the things you can do with your land is to separate out the ability to develop it, basically, by creating an easement called a conservation restriction. In Massachusetts, conservation restriction must provide permanent protection for the conservation values present on the land. So if we look at the CR that we've been working on at the end of Kohler Place, these little checkmark items are the conservation values that yield a significant public benefit. Wildlife habitat, nearby natural areas, scenic landscape, floodplain, water quality, Massachusetts Endangered Species Act considerations, and furtherance of government policy in our open space plan. So these are the conservation values for Kohler Place. A different piece of property would likely have a very different list of conservation values that yield a public benefit. So, again, here in the wonderful state of Massachusetts, the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs is our conservation restriction agency, and the Division of Conservation Services in EOEEA is specifically where this happens, at the Conservation Restriction Review Program. So our friend John Joya at the state, who was so helpful with the Kohler Place CR, works for this office. So I hope that helps a little bit. It's a complicated, long process, as we've seen with Kohler Place. But the idea that a landowner can pull this stick out of the bundle of legal rights that they receive when they buy a piece of land, and yet retain all the other rights in that land, helps me to think about this a lot. And so when we're thinking about these other, our open space residential development subdivisions, the ownership interest of the land has to be owned separately from the conservation restriction interest in the land. And which entity owns those two interests, I think, matters in the big picture. When we're looking at Stratton Hill, the ownership of that open space makes sense down the road. When you consider the neighbors, the neighboring landowners, and the owners of land across the Groton town line. So the town isn't necessarily the best owner of either the open space or the conservation restriction. I think we have to kind of pick our heads up and look a little farther afield to see what neighboring landowners are doing, what other conservation organizations are active in an area. Yeah, so does that help?
It does.
Okay. Did that help you? Or just make things more murky?
Well, so if we talked about it in relation to a specific case, like the possibilities with Shakerman Pond, because you've said if the town owned it, then there should be public access. So then if it was given as a gift to the town, right? Well, I mean, it's unclear. I mean, John Boardman has seemed to indicate he wants the town to take over ownership. Okay. And that alleviates the tax burden on the homeowners association. Because then it would be under the town's thing. But so that would be a case of ownership, but then there'd have to be somebody else holding the CR. A land trust?
A land trust.
Okay. So there's an advantage. Well, but on the other hand, if we didn't take ownership of some parcels like that one, then there's no case to be made for having public access.
Right. If the homeowners association owned it, then, as it says in here on one of the pages they're just reading, they do not have to provide public access.
Right.
Correct.
Right. That's right. A conservation restriction does not mean that there's automatically public access.
Right.
That's the decision of the landowner.
Right.
Yep.
So, yeah. So are we talking to the planning board?
We can have a slot on the agenda for the planning board's meeting in January that I'm gonna say is the 14th, but I'm not completely positive of that date. Is that a Tuesday? And the planning board doesn't want us to come to them with a specific recommendation about how the ownership ought to go. They want to hear this kind of thing. And I think I can put together some maps of that general area showing other protected land in the neighborhood. And for instance, the golf course is in chapter 61, B, I think. All right, well, that's really all I have to say about that. I can't recommend this little packet that I gave you enough. This is from a real estate attorney at UMass Extension, who does kind of a question and answer format that's really very, very useful and informative.
January 14th at 6:15 p.m.
Okay, that's us.
I'm so glad that you have your phone this week.
That's what the planning
Putting
board.
it to, well, it was nearby last
Well, I'll be there.
Can you be there?
I'm just asking, is
Yeah.
that the intent that? okay.
Yeah, we're all invited. And we could be first on their agenda, which would be good too.
Yeah, and then they'd have to post it, or would we have to post it as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we'd be a quorum, so.
Yep.
Ken Diskin at one point had said something about the open space residential plan. The requirements of the bylaw are creating a standard that's sort of unmeetable by developers. I don't know, I'd like to hear him talk about that more.
In what aspect?
That's what I'd like to hear him talk about.
Oh, he didn't describe.
But I think it was like requiring a CR, but then if you can't find anybody to take the CR, then
Right.
then there's a disincentive. So these are things that would be good to discuss a bit more. So,
All right.
yeah.
Yep. Well, off to the planning board we go.
Okay. So you'll confirm that we're first on your agenda.
Yep.
Okay. Yes.
So next item is a discussion on bylaw and regulations
Which I say, to be continued.
to be continued.
So
You've
over
got
the
it.
holiday break, I will
Okay. What I
bang
was,
through that stuff. I just need some
yeah.
away time from work, so.
What I was thinking might be a useful strategy would be to just look at, because you've got a bunch of different towns there, right?
That's what you gave me, yeah.
Yeah, and just to look at, are there any groupings of topics like setbacks? Or-
Exactly, that's what I was
or
thinking.
Punitive fines?
Yeah, what does this town say on setback? What does this town have for fees, like you said, right? You know, certain things.
George
or-
Bacon honorary signs
Yeah.
and stuff.
See if there's any themes or whatever.
Yeah, and then we could start to create a map, and then we could consider eventually dividing that up a bit. You know, in terms of,
What do you mean by map? Like,
well, create a map of potential sections in a body of
oh,
regulations.
yeah.
And then
Okay,
it's like, okay,
okay.
you take that one.
An
you
outline
take that
template or
one.
something, okay.
Yeah. And then we can start finding our favorite or least favorite or whatever.
Okay.
Or arrange within those, so.
Yeah, I'm thinking once we get the overview, I think it'd be pretty easy to go through. You know, like I say, we could do first real votes on should we include or should we not include, you know. In or out, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be continued. Mark is going to create, what is it you said? Themes?
Theme, matrix, something to that effect.
Matrix. Make a movie.
Enter the matrix.
All right. Was the gentleman here that,
Yeah. So, Rob, I didn't forget to text you. I just haven't texted you yet, so I'm really glad you're here.
Thank you.
And you'll see where there's a note on the board to text Rob. So I have Rob coming up as part of office updates.
oh, okay.
So I thought we could, what did I do?
What did you do?
Now we have to go through the whole thing all over again. It's getting late. All right, so see here, conservation restriction 101.
101.
1 Trevor Trail, that means text Rob. So we did this. And we're just about to text Rob. All right, so 1 Trevor Trail. Would you like to join us at the table?
Yeah, full name.
You state your name, please?
Yeah, it's Rob Boisvert. B like in boy, O-I-S. V like in victory, E-R-T. Like in Tom. Greenwood. English translation.
So Rob lives at 1 Trevor Trail, which is the first house on the right as you enter Trevor Trail. And as I said earlier in the meeting, I was over there to do an inspection this week and noticed some trees had been cut and was literally about to write a friendly letter when Rob walked through the door of the office because he had been upstairs.
She texted me and said, get your butt over here.
She's asking.
I know. Charlie actually sent him down. Said, "Oh, you need to go. You need to go through conservation." So we had a really nice talk about his situation. So in your packet, you have a copy of a plan that Rob made showing the actual location of his house. A little bit different than what was on the approved plan. And the green line, as always, is the wetland, is the buffer zone boundary. The kind of gray bubble line is the limit of work and the erosion controls for the wetland that is actually uphill from, the slope goes up from the street all the way up to the top of Nashua Street. So the erosion controls are really not controlling any erosion, but they were the limit of work. The blue rectangle is his proposed pool. Yep. I've got the big copy of the plan here. So we've got a couple of things. We've got some.
What is this?
That's the wetland. Yeah. This is where the pipe comes out, the mystery pipe. Right. And then it crosses, the wetland crosses under Pleasant Street and the culvert. It goes, yeah. So we've got a couple of things. We've got a homeowner inadvertently cutting trees in the buffer zone because he never received his order of conditions from the builder. Rob was kind enough to look up his closing documents and found one line that says Exhibit A, Order of Conditions from Air Conservation Commission, but no actual order of conditions. No signed affidavit. It's the same song. He wants to do the right thing, and yet had no idea that he was living in such close proximity to wetlands and had a buffer zone that takes up half of his property. So, is that a pretty fair characterization of where we are?
That's good. Yeah, the trees are scary. You know, we're gonna have family members in the backyard. They're probably, I mean, you guys probably know how tall trees are, but when we took some of the trees down, we probably were tying off about 35 feet up, and it looked to me like we were a third of the way up. But I know they're not 100 feet tall, but they're probably in excess of 60 feet tall, with some trees are dead, some have dead limbs. Got a 1.5-year-old grandson that'll be roaming around in that yard. So that was part of the urge, to have it keep from falling on the house and keep from hurting somebody. So when the wind blows, you can see these things, you know. The first one we took down was definitely going to hit the house pretty bad. I think we took down 4. So I'd say 2 out of the 3, no doubt, would have clipped the house or hit the propane tanks, or the other 2 I think would have been okay, but they were just kind of in the way to where we're putting the pool in.
Like pine trees primarily?
They're actually oaks.
They were oaks.
Yeah, and they're you know, you can see some fallen trees a little further back that are probably off of our property, but you can see as you look towards the back of the yard, which would be looking right towards the wetlands, a little to the right of the house that you see that's up behind us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can see some fallen trees up in the back there. So what I did is I came to the building inspector, Charlie, about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, and I actually brought this actual plan, which is very similar to what you can see. I said, hey, we're planning on putting in a pool. So he gave me all the forms, and I left the office, and I came in on Tuesday. I worked Monday. I came in on Tuesday fully expecting to get a building permit that he'd tell me, you know, from our conversation the day before, he made it sound like it would get walked through and probably I'd have a permit. We'd be digging a hole maybe this week. The pool's on the property already, upside down. You know, it might have been in the ground by now if we had the permit. So, you know, with the weather, it's probably gonna get delayed to some point, and maybe by, you know, the Conservation Commission, maybe it'll be delayed for more than I thought. So, I came Tuesday, and I showed him this with my permit, and estimated the value of the construction to be about $22,000. Paid him my $275, and he said, you know what, you better go downstairs and just check on it, because it looked like it was 80 feet, but it could have been 100, so maybe we'll just get it okayed so that there is no conservation. If it was going to be 150 feet, I probably wouldn't have had to go downstairs, and even, you know, because I drew it to scale, and I was really not sure if it was 80 or 100, but it's probably right around the 80-foot mark. So that's where I stand right now. Is I'm just wondering when I'm going to be able to give the guys the go-ahead to start putting the pool in. The backyard has been cut down quite a bit. In fact, it got cut down so much that the cellar floor is below the lowest part that I have on the street. So I have the exact same problem I had on Chamberlain Road in Westford that I'm trying to just barely get water to come up in the basement to the point where it just barely trickles onto the street. And unfortunately, I'm underwater at this brand-new house that should have not been built that way.
So you have
So-
water in your basement?
I don't have water in the basement, but I have a, I think they had to put in a, they had to put in a thing about this size to pump it. It wasn't high when they put the cellar floor in, but it was high enough where they couldn't pour concrete. It was probably 3 or 4 inches deep in some areas where the crushed stone was, it's never perfect. So I think they had to pump it down the day they put the floor in. So they left that there. And the perimeter drain unfortunately won't work unless unless it's a side discussion like I usually do. But the point is, it's kind of frustrating that I'm going to have another house. This previous house, I managed to just barely trickle. When the water's getting ready to come onto the floor, it would go out the pipe. Because I hate having a mechanical sump pump for all the obvious reasons. So I'll work through that. But the point is, the elevation of the house platform is about so, and it's probably about 3 feet higher where the pool's going to go, and then it goes slightly uphill to, the trees that I cut are slightly uphill. They're probably almost at the crest, and then it starts going downhill towards the wetlands. So, like Joanne was saying, the pool is still on the uphill area where the land is still sloping up slightly before it starts going down towards the wetlands. We're only digging down about probably 4 feet because the pool is a shallow pool. So it's a tiny pool too. It's only 11 by, they say it's 12 by 20, but it's really only about 11 something by 19 something. So it's, it's not a lot bigger than where we're standing right now, about like so, about the size of a full-size van bus that you'd see. A little bit wider than that, but the length of a van, like maybe a van that you'd see with a handicap van, but a little wider to make it 12 feet. So one thing I was thinking of as I was getting ready to come here is the edge of the pool is just barely encroaching on that area of work.
Yep.
So I didn't know if Mark Gallagher was asked if he was putting in a pool for us, if he would have been able to say, I'm putting in the pool within the work area. It's within the work area. I didn't know if he would have the okay, because it's not like digging a cellar hole that's like 5 or 6 feet deep. It's pretty, it's pretty shallow, but I guess I'm ready to listen to what I need to do to try to get this progress. I've outlaid 17 grand for a pool that's sitting upside down in my yard.
You're right. Well, we're looking at an NOI.
Is this still in order conditions open? Can we amend it?
Amend the order conditions.
It is still open.
Did I understand that gets closed on the road when the 2 next houses are built, and then it gets closed, or when the road's approved? Is that what you told me?
Well, I think I told you it was for the whole project.
Right, so-
And so I think it's going to be open for a long time. If they're going to build the next phase down the hill, it's for all of Riley Jane Farm.
The house that we see in the background there is probably 50 feet from the wetlands, maybe 60.
Where's that?
Or maybe it's
This one.
Oh, this one.
maybe it's 75, but it's probably no closer to the wetlands than the pool is proposed. The pool that is proposed, I should say.
And so the issue is that the pool is in the buffer zone to that wetland, so it's between the blue and the green line, which just means you need some kind of permit from the commission. Either amend the existing order, there's gonna be a groundwater situation when they dig this hole, just because we know what the groundwater is over there, and managing that is actually my concern more than anything else. I think once the pool is in the hole and has water in it and is ballasted, kind of sunk, I think we're all set, but.
So what do they do when they build a house? Do they have a plan with the, I mean, it's just mud everywhere, so what do they do with the water?
It is just mud everywhere.
So how do they get rid of the water if they hit water when they're building the house?
Well, they pump
Pump it
it.
out.
So do they have to develop a plan, or do they, I mean, I've seen Gallagher's work. I think they build a great house, but I don't think they're gonna do anything special to, I mean, I've seen the shit that I've gone through, sorry about the swear. I got a stump sitting in the backyard that, I don't know if it'll ever get moved. Right along the driveway. This whole area is all disturbed. It's all, if you say that's the work area limit, this is all disturbed in here.
Yeah.
If they had wanted to put a pool in themselves before they sold it to you.
Yeah, it's good to answer that, yeah.
Yeah, the work is within the limit of work, but for putting in a new structure, digging into the ground, they would have had to amend
Okay.
the order of conditions.
Sure.
too.
Yep.
So that's,
Okay.
And so the order is still with CJ.
This is where it's a mess with the subdivisions. We
Oh.
have a general order.
I know.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and to have somebody different than the developer being the
Yeah.
builder. Yeah. Well, we're gonna figure out a way for you to get your pool in.
I appreciate that.
It's just a question of what the mechanism is.
This is a question for, what's her name now?
Kim,
Kim.
yes.
I think I can answer the water issue and the fill issue.
Mm-hmm.
So the water issue, I think the backyard, even though it's not intended to, holds water right now.
Mm-hmm.
So if we hit water, and if we plan this to be done when the water is less in the, obviously, I've done some septic system stuff. I know that the water table is different times of the year.
Yep.
So if we target a low water table time, then we're less likely to hit as much water as we would if we hit the high table time. So if we target that at the same time and pump it right into the yard probably holds as much water as that hole would hold, and then some, and let it dribble out of the yard like it does when it rains heavy. I mean, when it rains, there's water coming down the side of the driveway as a, pretty good clip when it rains heavy, even though you got a hill behind the house, the water's coming off of that big hill, I think, as you look in the back. I mean, you guys can probably see these plants better than I do. You guys probably can read topos much better than I can, but the water's coming off the hill, comes across the property, and it comes out on Trevor Trail. So I don't think we would be sending any more water, probably a lot less than when that happens, when you get a heavy rain, like we did a few days ago. For the fill, we have a new wall that we built, so the wall needs to be backfilled, so we'd probably take the fill from the pool and just put it right over the wall with a skid steer.
Where's the wall?
The wall's around the front of the house. It wraps from the driveway to, if you're looking at the plan, the driveway is on the Trevor Trail side of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And, you gotta look at the red. So it kind of curves at a steep angle and comes out the Trevor Trail. So right at the beginning of the driveway, there's a stone wall that runs around the corner, and it probably ends, it ends before the corner of the house. So it probably goes about, I'll say it runs about a total of 130 feet, probably 75 feet, maybe 80 feet down Trevor, and then rounds around, and there's a hydrant there, and then it comes around probably another 50 feet.
It's a 3-ish?
It'll end up being 3.5 at the end. It's about 4, it's about 3.5. No, it's about 4 right now, but it needs to be, I guess when they build these walls, they dig down 2 feet, put down a foot of stone, build the wall, and then there's a foot of the wall that gets covered just to make it secure. So some of that work just needs to wait for a little bit of weather to clear. Or maybe the spring, I don't know.
Is that a deck coming off?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a 12 by, it's about 12 by 12 deck. I plan to, I mean, this is down the road. Hopefully I don't have to get a permit through conservation for this, but I might put a screen porch up there instead of the deck. I don't know if that impacts conservation or not, but.
Only if you dig into the ground.
Right, we're not digging, just.
Yeah.
We get the piers that are there.
Oh,
Technically,
it's
the
done.
Gallaghers, when they moved the house from the original location to this one, just a bit of that deck goes into the buffer zone, so they technically should have contacted us about that change,
Gotcha.
but they didn't. That's
Yeah.
not on you.
And I think I overlaid it pretty accurate. I'll bet you I'm within a, probably 1/8 of an inch. So there's no doubt that the deck probably is in the buffer.
So can there be 2 orders? Can there be 2 orders on a single property, owned by 2 different, or held by 2 different people? Or is it truly just an amend?
Suppose you could have 2 orders.
That might be easier to do a new order just for that, and then leave the rest for the developer to get the certificate of compliance, but, and then actually, I wouldn't think for this one he'd need to have it, the wetlands flagged for a notice of intent, because they're already flagged for the other order.
I mean, if it helps anything, I can move I moved the pool an additional, I moved it 20 feet to the left, just because I wanted to get it a little, talking about it, we just decided to move it. I can move it some more and get it out of the, that area if you want me to.
Get it out of the limit of work, but not
It'll
out
still
of
be
the
in the
buffer
buffer.
zone.
It'll still be in the buffer,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
but get it out of the, I mean, I really can't put the pool outside the buffer because it'll either be on either end of the house, which is not,
Yeah.
it's not reasonable to, but I can do my best to get it out of the buffer. I mean, out of the work area. If that's something that you want me to do.
Have you looked at the area?
Oh, just driving by that day, but I'm gonna be over there tomorrow at 10 to pre-inspect 12A and 13A, so.
So you could look at it then and then see
Yeah.
if.
I have it staked.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
See if it should be moved or not, but
Yeah.
otherwise, just the easiest thing, rather than trying to sort out
Doing an amendment with
The rest of
one
the subdivision,
applicant for
yeah.
and then the Gallaghers over here, that it might be just easier to do a notice of intent of your own, which wouldn't be, for a project like this, it's not a big cost for that application.
You gotta charge me. You gotta charge me.
State does, and, yeah. Unfortunately, it's state law, but,
Well, as long as we're not talking crazy money. I mean, I already dropped $275 that I thought was gonna be $1.50.
yeah.
Well, it could be an abbreviated notice of intent, but I'm kind of liking the amendment myself, just because it's less.
Why don't you see what would be the most cost-effective and easiest, if there's a solution to doing it through the amendment without getting everybody too crazy.
They both require a butter notification, so There's no difference that way.
And there would be the cost of a public hearing legal ad that we are required by state law to run in a local paper. That's how much is an ad now?
About $80.
Yeah.
I keep them brief.
Yeah.
See what Kim says.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But the Gallagher's have the original?
CJ Moore has the order for Riley Jane Farm.
So if we
The
want to amend it,
Gallagher's.
he's got to agree to the amendment?
I don't think that would be a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the Gallagher's wouldn't necessarily be part of it, right?
If it's held by CJ.
If it's, yeah.
All right.
You don't have to turn back your pool, probably.
No,
Hey, we can
You
stay
said
upside down and we can just kind of use it as an umbrella.
you could. You could.
Put it up on poles.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, that's your
And
new
then-
screen
then-
porch.
and then it could be-
Handholds
it
on
could be a-
lime over it, like a rock wall.
Yeah, yeah. Could make it an above ground pool.
There, now we're talking.
Above air. Are you done cutting trees now, or is there more to
As
cut?
I am not gonna cut any more trees without getting permission unless something's getting ready to fall. I have somebody that's gonna get them out of there, that's all.
Get the downed trees
Yeah.
out of there.
It's just, you know, they're a little too big to manhandle for people. I mean, it'd be great if I was burning wood, you know, and just go crazy and make 4 cord or whatever it is, but I'm just gonna get them out of there.
Well, and what should we consider, like an RDA after the fact for the tree cutting, or, or,
Well, it's done.
Yeah. I mean, that's just using trees,
I know.
paperwork.
Would you plant some new trees, smaller trees?
I mean, we fully plan to
Oh.
plant trees.
Good.
I mean, good sized ones, because
What, screening?
when you get old, like I am, you guys are young, but, you know, when you get old, you realize that you don't have 20, 30 years
To wait for
to
the
have the
tree,
trees
I
to
know.
get big.
We could address the,
That's what my wife says. Every time I plant something, it says, oh, that'll look good for the next people.
well, I think the notice of the tree cutting could be incorporated into the amendment. So it's documented.
Yeah.
there. Or the notice, whatever is the best vehicle. Yeah.
And does it make sense to include the deck/screen porch in that amendment right now? Let's take care of it. So,
Well, the deck is already there, right?
Yeah,
Right.
that would
Right.
be dealt with by the certificate of compliance. for
Yeah, the deck is,
as-built.
the deck has, you know, good sized 1,000-pound concrete piers with big footing.
Okay.
So Charlie tells me that they'll hold up a screen porch without breaking a sweat.
okay.
Yeah, I think that,
And
and when
we're-
you build a house, you've got the as-built showing what they actually did. And that's a whole different.
Well, and that's what I wasn't sure. I didn't realize that
Yeah.
because the original house there does not show a deck on it. So that's why I didn't know that the deck,
Yeah.
I didn't understand that you,
Yeah, actually, I
It's already
think they
there.
have a generic size house shown on all these.
Yeah.
So the Gallagher's have a few to choose from, and we went with the ranch. So the ranch automatically, I think, gets the deck. I would think all the other ones do too, but I don't know.
okay. All right, so the deck's moved. Okay.
Yes, but before the Gallaghers start other developments within jurisdiction, we need to have them in.
Yes. Well, young Mark was in the office today.
Have them into a meeting.
Yes, I know.
On camera.
Did Charlie say anything about, well, it probably doesn't make a difference, right? Did he, distance between the pool and the deck?
Yeah, I have it all written down, but it's 10 feet from the house.
Okay.
The pool will be 10 feet from the deck, just in case that we do the screen porch. The screen porch could be a year or two away.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought
But that's a good
I
question.
thought it had to be 10 feet.
It is 10, yeah.
So they can get around.
From a house, from any structure.
Right, right. Okay.
And it's pretty generous on the side and the rear. The side and the rear is only, I'm confusing the shed though. A pool is, I think it's the same setback as a structure.
Well, that's okay. I just was just curious as to the closest to the deck, so.
Okay. As I'm listening, I'll look. It's not bad for you to know.
Well, I can try to get a hold of Kim tomorrow at DEP, the new circuit rider,
Right.
and see what she thinks. Yeah, probably easier to try her tomorrow than next week. Oh, yeah.
Surprisingly, pool setback, 5 feet from the side, 5 from the rear, and 10 from the house. So I'm kind of surprised you could, I mean, maybe people are dealing with small lots, so they're pretty generous on the distance from the lot line. I think structures are a little further, usually at least
Yes.
15 and 10.
Something like that.
'Cause I remember I was asking about it.
Westford is 30 from the rear.
Yeah, and I was asking about a shed. Charlie had said it had to be 10 so they can get the fire truck around if they need be. So I guess I'm surprised it's only 5 foot for a pool.
Yeah.
On the side, it's kind of odd.
Alrighty, well, let's see if we can get this thing going.
Well, thanks for listening.
Well,
Am I done?
thanks for coming down.
Bye. No, I mean, that's very nice. I always tell Charlie, and I think I told Joanne, that it's nice to, come to this building, because I go upstairs, I talk to Charlie right away, and, it's pretty, I'm not that I've done a lot of this, but there's not much bureaucracy standing in the way, and it's nice, so, thank you.
No, we're all really right here,
Yep.
and we work on each other's projects, and,
Yep.
yeah, and it's...
So thanks for taking me on short notice too, so.
Oh, I appreciate you coming in. Thank you.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you coming down the other day.
Yep, me
so.
too.
So if I'm over on Trevor Trail tomorrow morning at
Yep.
10, can I just take a
Yeah,
take
why
a
don't,
run through your backyard?
you have my number, just ring
Yep.
me up, I'll walk it with you if you
Okay,
want.
all right, good.
And, yeah, sounds good. 10-ish, okay?
Yeah, I've got 10. I've got 2 lots to look at, so it'll
The
probably...
last two on that subdivision, right?
Well, the last 2 on...
On that cul-de-sac, I should say.
Yeah, the farthest...
The oily ones. I don't know if they're both oily, but at least one was, right?
They actually, the part of the lots that they're developing now didn't have any impact
Yeah.
from the oil spill, so. But it'll probably be 10:30, maybe 11:15 before I
Okay,
give you a call.
that's good. I'll be working on stuff at home anyway, so,
All right,
thanks.
see you tomorrow. Okay, so that's a pretty interesting office update.
It is,
A live one.
it is.
Yeah, how fast can you go through the rest?
Yeah, I can go through the rest pretty fast, because it's, what I have here in this file folder is the Kohler Place Conservation Restriction, signed by John and Stephanie Burns. And at the next selectmen's meeting, the selectmen will sign in the presence of a notary, and we have to book a notary for our next meeting so that we can sign in the presence of a notary.
We have to sign in the presence of the notary?
Yep.
Do we have to in the past?
I think you took our word for it. Day afterwards.
Well,
Those days are done, huh?
so Carly, Heather, and Susan are all notaries, and I just have to see which one of them is willing to come to our next meeting.
We put that at 7:01.
7:01.
We're having an official the planning board. Town hall's open at night.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good thinking. That's very good
And
thinking.
we'd be the quorum. I mean, we'd be posted as a quorum.
Yeah.
You'd have to post signing CR on our agenda part. Yeah. Good idea, George.
Yeah. All right.
What is the notary need? Merely a driver's license is good? or-
Driver's license. Yep. Driver's license. OCR signing.
I drive.
Don't
You
forget
have a
it.
license.
Or you can get
True.
Well, this is so exciting, I can't tell you. This has been,
Put some hiccups in
oh man.
along
but
the way.
Here we are. All right, we were supposed to hear from the man whose stuff is in the sheds on Monday, but guess what? We didn't. So I probably won't call him before the holidays, but I will catch up with him.
He's supposed to have all stuff out by the end of January though, correct?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Or else John and I are gonna go scavenging. No.
Yeah,
Carry it out on our backs.
right.
Sure.
He's,
I'll bring my wheelbarrow. Sorry.
and it's really downhill, you know.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
You can stay at the bottom.
He seemed sincere, so,
Okay.
you know, we're kind of at his mercy, but we'll see if we can work with him. I already told you about the municipal vulnerability preparedness meeting, so I'll get you all ready for the meeting on the 9th, but I'm thinking that I should be at that meeting instead of this meeting. Planning board meeting, we're all set for the 14th. And the webinar I listened to today about the DEP regulation changes, they are going to start requiring submissions of orders and DOAs by certified mail instead of regular mail, or by eDEP, which I don't yet know how to use, but I think we have a robust enough IT infrastructure here that it shouldn't be a problem on our end, although I understand on their end you can't always upload things. And they don't take every single form. I want to say Form 2 and Form 6 are just not in the eDEP system. I don't know. So MACC is having a fit about this because it's going to put a real burden on a lot of smaller towns to cover the cost of all that certified mailing. So it's not only mailing to DEP by certified mail, it's mailing to the applicant and landowner, if those are two different people. So you're talking 3 certified mailings for one project. The date of issuance, we're already kind of up to speed on this. It's the day that it gets mailed to DEP, not the day that we sign. We've been doing that for a while. The abutter notification, I guess there's some concern that just because you get an abutter notification, it doesn't convey standing in an appeal. So somebody must have pressed that point. And they're changing the wetland indicator plant list to be the Army Corps plant list, so that now everybody's using the same plant list. So there's a public comment period on all of this till January 30th. There's a public hearing down in Worcester sometime soon. January 8th from 10 to 12, which I thought I would go to. So if you have any comments, DEP wants to know about them. MACC is collecting comments. The Massachusetts Society of Municipal Conservation Professionals has a survey that's going around that I filled out yesterday.
The wetland indicator plant list, is it a longer list or a shorter list? Does it include or exclude more plants?
I think it's not that so much, it's whether they're obligate or facultative. I think it changes the what would you call that? So on the existing list, a plant might be considered either an obligate, which means if it's growing there, it's definitely a wetland, or if it's facultative, it could go either way.
Okay.
And on this new plant list, some of the plants have
changed.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's more obligated?
Obligates.
Obligates?
The obligates.
I guess that's actually the really, so yes, the question, so is there more that say, if it's there, if you see this, it's definitely in there as opposed to, we think maybe it might be before.
Right.
So
I
it
haven't
went
looked
from,
at it
if you see these
closely
20,
enough.
now it's like if you see these 25, so.
It could be, or if
Okay.
you see these 15. I'm not sure which way it cut,
Oh, okay, all
because
right,
I haven't looked at it closely enough.
all right.
Global Montello sent us their request for COC right before the weather failed, and I noticed that they're plowing their snow right up against the silt fence that's very close to that little intermittent stream, which was something I was not counting on. So I'm going to talk to the engineer about that and ask him if there isn't some other place they can pile the snow.
Where is that?
The new gas station. So as you face the new gas station, they're plowing all the snow to the right.
The Old Town, okay.
Yeah, and that's where the
Yeah, the little, yeah,
yeah.
separate between Ayer and Harvard.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Air Solar 2 is coming back on the 9th if Kyle gets whatever he needs to get to me by the 30th so that I can get the ad in time. They want to amend their orders.
So we had a consultant on that,
Mm-hmm.
so do we want to bring him back in?
That's probably a very good idea.
That was Matt Schweisberg, right?
Yep. And last but not least, in our ongoing social media extravaganza, the Cardinals got 100 likes and 6 shares. Cindy said, you know, usually people look at your posts and they'll like them right away. She said this is the first post of any kind she's ever made that like 2 weeks or a week after the post was made, people were still going back and looking at it, which was kind of neat. And the chipmunk I thought was going to trump the cardinal, but he's running behind, I have to say.
Kind of gross looking.
I don't think so. What's wrong with you?
I really thought chipmunks hibernated all winter. They apparently just nap their way through winter. They sleep for 2 or 3 days and then they wake up. And
That seems very civilized.
yes, well, that's what the comments are running. Things along the lines of, wow, I should try that. So
That's what the kids are for.
this continues to be a really fun thing, and I think it's connecting people to us in a really positive way.
Good.
Plus, I have fun doing it, so.
It's a win-win.
It is. That's all I got.
That's all you got.
Yeah.
Are there any Miller updates? No.
Just quickly, the, down the street here, let's see, what section is it? Across from the pond, next to the old junkyard. You know the trees that came down there? It's like,
Is that on Central Ave?
yeah. Yeah, so they built the house off
On-
of Sandy Pond.
Yes.
Oh, and this is
And then
behind
what-
them?
Yes,
Behind it.
all the way to the road, I know, and every time I
Yeah,
drive
is
by
that-
there, I think,
Are they putting another house in there?
is
or-
that 100 feet? I think it's probably just their backyard, but I don't really know. Well, so they could see the water, I'm sure,
I suppose.
or the
but-
pump station.
Yeah. So,
I know.
okay, and then, yeah, that was kind of the other question I said. Is it 100 feet or?
I know.
not?
Well, so if the road
the road.
itself is probably 60 feet,
Right,
and
and then the
then,
building, so yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I know,
Okay.
but boy, I know. Yep.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Up second.
All in favor?
Fall asleep. Aye.